It feels just like yesterday when we ran the very first Wawa Cup Series event right here at the new Smyrna Speedway, the 2023 Mello Yello SmoothFest. Well, 3 years later, we're back again, here to start the 4th season of the Wawa Cup Series, the 2026 campaign, and it all begins where it always does, each and every year. We have 40 full-time drivers who are going to be in every race this season, and all 40 of them are here tonight around this half-mile short track in New Smyrna Beach, Florida, for what is always the opening event of every Cup Series season we have done on the channel. You know what it is. It's the Mello Yello SmoothFest. We're back again for the 4th straight year here at the new Smyrna Speedway on a Friday night to open up the 2026 Wawa Cup Series. Hello everybody, this is AG here and welcome to the new Smyrna Speedway. We are here, as we always are, for the opening exhibition event, the Mello Yello SmoothFest. And we always have so much fun with this event because we get to see all these guys, get to talk about them a little bit more since we start off with fewer drivers on the track. And we get this season started off right with a great short track race here at the new Smyrna Speedway. As you see, our defending Wawa Cup Series champion will lead us off here in heat number 1. That is Duncan Ward returning to Team Williams for the 2026 season. He is the only returning champion to this series here in this 2026 season. Drew Webb has retired, Ludovic Schredt has become an owner, but Duncan Ward looking to go back-to-back. And it all is going to start next week at the Homestead Miami Speedway. But join alongside Caleb Rose and Nathan Stapleton for tonight's special event. This race has no meaning on the championship. It's all about the win, and it is a great race to get to know all these drivers and get to see who might be good throughout the season. Caleb, I'm going to ask you first, what are you looking forward to here tonight as we get the 4th edition of the Mello Yello SmoothFest at New Smyrna underway here tonight to open up the 2026 Wawa Cup Series?
Honestly, just to be completely blunt, I'm looking forward to this whole night. This is always usually such a fun event. Like you're talking about, a fantastic way to start out the season here from New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Get to know all our drivers, see them on the track here for the first time, and just a good old-fashioned fun short track race. And New Smyrna Speedway, always such a fantastic track. Usually always delivers some great racing. I would even argue probably the best short track here in NR2003. But yeah, like I said, year in and year out, this event has definitely proved to be one of the highlights of the season. And I definitely think we're in for a very fun night here tonight as well. It's going to be interesting to see who we do see towards the front of the field here in these Heats LCQs and eventually the main event. And it'll be fun to see who winds up in victory lane after everything is said and done. But feels like yesterday where we crowned a champion here in this season, and a lot has happened in the offseason, so definitely got a lot to talk about, and I am definitely very excited to get into it.
Absolutely, and of course we'll go through all the driver and team changes throughout the night. Hopefully everything allows us to do so, but one thing that is the same is Team Williams. They are going to be on the front row here. Duncan Ward and Avery Alford, 6 wins on the year. And of course, Team Williams won the Owners' Championship in 2025 with their drivers. And Nathan, you own a team as well, and we've got something very fascinating happening in the Wawa Cup Series that we're going to really see this year. And it all started with Grattan Autosport, Team Velocitar, and those guys with the Grattan Racing Technologies Alliance. Well, now we have ourselves 4 alliances in the Wawa Cup Series, and your team, NS Racing, is part of one of them with the Dodge Nexus Alliance. It's going to be very interesting to see how all of this plays out between all these mega teams that we've got. But with that being said, how is that going to shape the season? How's that going to shape this race here tonight as we got so many different drivers helping each other out behind the scenes with all these owners?
It's definitely going to make this race and this season very intriguing to say the least, because obviously the GOT Alliance, they figured something out behind the scenes of making all this for the last couple of seasons, and it's going to be interesting of how Team Warp, the Hair Trail Alliance, and the Dodge Nexus the Dodge Nexus Alliance all compares against the GOT Alliance. But it's very interesting because you got all these alliances, but within the alliances, you got the separate teams as well that are looking on their own kind of. So it's definitely going to be interesting of how it all plays out. And on top of that, of all the silly season changes that went down, it's definitely going to be one heck of a season here in 2026. And like Caleb said, no better way to kick off than at New Smyrna, but it's going to be interesting of how these teams, silly season changes, and these alliances all work out in 2026.
And we'll have a lot of fun watching it all unfold throughout this 32-race season. This is not one of the 32 races. This is essentially race 0 here from the New Smyrna Speedway. And, of course, we've got a lot of changes. You know, some of the big changes that we have, we don't have Ludovic Shred as a driver anymore. The 2024 champion is now an owner in the series, effectively taking over Grattan Autosport. You see that 51 there on the grid, but it's not Ludovic driving that car. We'll get to that in a moment. Drew Webb is gone. He's not in the series anymore, which is a shame. Won the 2023 championship. We're going to miss him. So that leaves Duncan Ward as the only defending champion of the Wawa Cup that is still left. So he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder in that regard. He wants to get it again, but you're going to have guys like Daniel Paulus Jr., you're going to have guys like Rogel Dorn who are now in a good ride, and you're going to have some other guys like Blaine Keys, Thomas Trosville, Pacific Racing look to be back up front. Logan Williams as well might have a good opportunity. There are so many guys who are going to have an opportunity at this championship. And with that, we're also going to have a new points system as well. Greatest news of the century released about 3 weeks ago when NASCAR decided to bring back the chase in real life, and we're adopting a very similar format to how they're going to do it. It's just going to be the top 12 in the points at the end of the regular season, 22 races in the regular season, and then we seed those 12 drivers, give a bonus point, 75 points to the regular season title winner. Going to be a lot different going into the chase. You need to do good in the regular season if you're going to have a good springboard going into the chase here in the Wawa Cup Series. So we'll talk a lot more about that once we get to the points paying races, but a lot of exciting changes here in the Wawa Cup Series for 2026, and we are looking forward to getting it all started. Well, let's go ahead and get this started. The Mello Yello SmoothFest here from the new Smyrna Speedway. You see on your screen how it's all laid out, and a bit of a slight change to this race this year compared to years past. You see, the main event will be determined by how fast these heat races go. The weather conditions are going to be identical for each heat race, and the fastest heat winner, that is going to be your pole sitter for the main event. So it is not a guarantee that whoever wins this race wins the pole for the feature. You want to be that fastest race, not the fastest lap like it is in the Body Armor Pro Series, the fastest race. So it's a little different than how we had it last week when we had the heat races for that. You want to have the fastest average miles per hour in the race to get that pole position. Third fastest will start second, and then the second fastest will start third, because that inside lane is dominant, as you are going to see here in just a moment as we get Heat 1 started. And, of course, in the feature event, that'll be big as well. We got 10 drivers in each heat. Top 5 advance on to the feature in each heat, and then we got 2 LCQs, and the top 2 from each LCQ advance on, just as we have always done it since coming to New Smyrna 3 years ago. Blaine Keys, the first winner of this event. Bruno Diacomo won this 2 years ago, and last year Brian Webb went to victory lane. If your name starts with a B, you got a good shot at winning this thing. We'll see if that ends up being the case here tonight. Well, the ironic part about this first heat, it's the Mello Yello SmoothFest, and it is the Mountain Dew car starting on the pole position. So take with that what you will, but that's the way it is. And Duncan Ward earned this spot, winning the Wawa Cup Series championship a year ago. He is your pole sitter for heat number 1, alongside his teammate of Avery Alford. Had a great season with Team Williams last year, won the penultimate race at Homestead. I know he's looking forward to the Wawa 400 next Friday night. That is your front row here with Andrew Miller returning to NS Racing. He was with NS Racing 2 years ago. He is back with this organization. And of course, Nathan, your team switching over to Dodge, being a part of the Dodge Nexus Alliance. That is very exciting to see what you guys got going on over there. And of course, Andrew Miller had an excellent season last year with Durrani Racing. He looks to have another excellent season joining back with NS Racing. Trey Bartow in the number 4. It ain't a Cup Series on AG the channel without this guy being in number 4. He was in number 4 in the very first race all the way back in 2015. And of course, Trey Bartow returning to the Hairgel Motorsports team. And another ironic thing, this is the Wawa Cup Series, and we've got a Sheets car in this race too. So we're really clashing our sponsors here in this first heat. How about the 2024 winner of this event? Bruno Diacomo starts 6th here tonight. New team on the grid. This is Anderson Jr. Enterprises. Hallie Anderson Jr., the owner of this team, and Bruno Diacomo joining it in the number 70. And Bernardo de Oliveira returning to Rut Racing. Had a great season last year, even though he didn't go to victory lane. A lot of strength for Bernardo, and he's looking to have an even better season with Joe Rutkowski's team. LJ Cimetto, one of 2 drivers in the field who have been with the same team for every Wawa Cup Series season and event. He's driving the 71 once again for Titan Fury Racing, the 2024 Daytona 500 champion, alongside a driver you absolutely have to watch this season. We all know how awful Rogel Dorn was last year, driving for Hamill Racing Enterprises. Well, he's in this car now, and Ludovic Charette is the owner of this team. Stuart Grattan not an owner anymore in the Wawa Cup Series, though he still oversees the GRT Alliance. This is the Intrasys Motor Racing number 51, driven by Rogel Dorn, who we know has the capability of being a championship-winning driver here in the Wawa Cup Series. And how about a true rookie, Carson Green, driving for Heartland Racing, and Nathan Meyer in the 84 machine, and alongside him, his teammate, a driver who was in the very first race almost 11 years ago, Aaron Lukes, in the number 67, also driving for Heartland Racing and Nathan Meyer. We are excited, and you should be excited too, to get this 4th running of the Mello Yello SmoothFest at the new Smyrna Speedway underway. Duncan Ward, Avery Alford on the front row. Before we get them to roll off, Caleb, I'm going to ask you, who do you think's getting heat number 1 here tonight to start off the 2026 Wawa Cup Series season?
I mean, honestly, I think I got to go with your pole sitter here. The 23 Duncan Ward, coming off of winning the Wawa Cup Series championship. Got a lot of momentum coming in here to this season, like you were talking about earlier, with a chip on his shoulder, looking for championship number 2. And I'd say a great way to start that off would be with a win here in heat number 1, and maybe even the feature race later. We'll have to see if he can get it done, but I'd definitely watch out for that 23 car here tonight. And I think he's definitely got a really good starting position there on the pole position. Have to see what he can do.
It'll be a lot of fun to see what he does. All right, we've talked your ear off long enough. Let's finally get some engines roaring and get these guys to roll off here from the new Smyrna Speedway. And the 23 of Duncan Ward alongside Avery Alford there, Team Williams teammates. We'll see what they do on the start of this race. Watch out for Andrew Miller. I'd watch out for Rogel Dorn as well. You know how strong this team is. I say that. It's not Grattan Autosport anymore, but it kind of still is in a way. Ludovic taking over the ownership of the team. And I'd watch out for Rogel as this race goes along. But top 5, they advance on to the feature event. The other 5 go to LCQ. We'll see which one they end up with, because you're going to watch out for the fastest time, the time of the race, the miles per hour of the race. That'll determine where these guys start later on here tonight. All right, they've taken the green flag, and the 2026 Wawa Cup Series is underway here in New Smyrna Speedway, and already Andrew Miller going 3 wide to the inside of Duncan Ward and Avery Alford, and he's going to take the lead away on lap number 1. Got some 3 wide action right here, and my goodness, you were in the booth last week, Nathan, for that Pro Series race. We saw a lot of this last week as well, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we did, and I think everyone that was not in the bottom of the Pro Series last week, they are just as antsy as everyone was last week here tonight to get the season underway. And how about that? We got the Battle of Dreams. We got Palomino Mountain Dew 1-2. Got the Penswell car behind him of Bernardo de Oliveira. And here comes one of the drivers that, like you said, on the top of the stage that he's been at all 4 seasons, of LJ Cimetto. And it's going to be interesting of how this all works out here tonight. And how about one of the new teams on the move as well?
Yeah, how about Carson Green here, rookie driver with Heartland Racing, and Nathan Meyer trying to take that last transfer spot away, currently held by Trey Bartow. Bartow's going to hold on to it for now. Rogel Dorn trying to move his way through the field. Avery Alford could not move from that outside pole, and Rogel Dorn's moving 3 wide to the inside for the transfer spot. How about that for Rogel? And you know this guy has the biggest chip on his shoulder after what happened last year, and he is pushing Carson Green up in the Bartow, almost in the outside wall, and both Bartow and Green are going to slip back. Meanwhile, back up front, Andrew Miller holds on to the race lead for now. Duncan Ward, Bernardo de Oliveira, LJ Cimetto, and Aaron Lukes now taking the last transfer spot away from Rogel-Dorn. So this is getting very interesting here for that last transfer spot.
Boy, this has definitely been a crazy start to the night here. That was a crazy move there by the 51 of Rogel-Dorn. Luckily, Green and Trey Bartza were able to keep it out of the outside wall there. Great driving from the rookie driver to keep it out of the wall, but we still got a lot of paddling going on here on this racetrack. As like you mentioned, Aaron Lukes in the 67 now moving up to the transfer spot. Rogel-Dorn now fighting the 13 of Avery Alford for the first car on the outside looking in. And I'm sure we're not done up here at the front of this field for this race lead. Miller slips high, and just as I say that, here comes Duncan Ward.
Here he comes. Cue the bagpipes. Duncan Ward, 2025 champion, wants to get this season started off right, and he's got a nose to the inside, trying to get up in the Miller. And that's going to bring in De Oliveira up here. Great run for De Oliveira. Great run for LJ Cimento as well. LJ, I believe, missed out on the feature last year, so I know he'd love to get back into it with this Titan Fury Racing team. And Avery Alford has taken that last transfer spot away from Aaron Lukes. 5 laps to go here in heat number 1. Alford way up the racetrack, and here comes Rogel-Dorn to take it back away.
I was about to say we got 4 Dodgers inside of the top 5.
There you go.
Now Smyrna and well, welcome to 2026 in the Wawa Cup Series. You missed the pass for the lead.
Yeah,
but that
didn't take us too long there, did it? Well, Andrew Miller is taking it away here from Duncan Ward, and he's got 3 laps to go to get this Heat 1 win. Rogel-Dorn is currently holding on to the last transfer spot, but the top 4 are all on each other here, trying to get this Heat 1 race victory and a shot at the pole. Keep an eye on that miles per hour there, 107.465 at the moment. We're going to take note of that once this heat is done. 2 laps to go in heat number 1. For Andrew Miller, Duncan Ward still right there in the 23. Will he get a nose to the inside here? He won't quite yet. De Oliveira and Cimento looking to strike if they tangle. And we've seen a bit of tangling already here tonight, but here comes Duncan Ward coming to the white flag, and they're side by side for the race lead. Duncan Ward taking it away from Andrew Miller for the top position. When Miller is running out of time to cross back over as well. He can't stay on the outside lane if he's going to get it. Duncan Ward going to clear, and Duncan Ward will win heat number 1 here in the Mello Yello SmoothFest. Andrew Miller, Bernardo De Oliveira, LJ Cimento, and Rogel-Dorn all advance on to the feature event here tonight at New Smyrna Speedway.
Welcome to 2026 in the Wawa Cup Series. How about that for an opening heat? And I'm not surprised about Rogel-Dorn getting that 5th and final spot. I think that's going to be one of many early season championship threats, and not really much of a transfer spot battle, but definitely had a battle for the race win there for heat number 1.
That was a lot of fun. That's a great way to start off the year here in the Wawa Cup Series. Keep that number in mind, 107.513. That's the time to beat right now. Duncan Ward has a top 4 starting position in the feature locked up. Andrew Miller is going to be 5th through 8th. Bernardo De Oliveira is going to be 9th through 12th. LJ Cimento is going to be 13th through 16th. Rogel-Dorn is going to be 17th through 20th to start in the feature event. But those top 5, they're all in. Carson Green, Trey Barto, Avery Alford, Aaron Lukes, and Bruno Diacomo going to go to the LCQ. We'll see which one they go to. And Nathan, thoughts on that one? That was an exhilarating event. And we're just getting started here tonight in this Mello Yello SmoothFest. And, it's all coming back to me now. Why I love this event, and it was a great show for Heat 1, and we still got ourselves 175 more laps to go tonight across this New Smyrna Speedway evening.
Absolutely. That's only one heat. We got 3 more heats to go. We got a couple of LCQs and the feature as well. And there's a reason why that we all love this place. And that is why. Great battles, a little bit of contact at times, but a clean pass for the win between Duncan Ward and Andrew Miller. I bet me and Andrew Williams both like to see that be clean, knowing how New Smyrna can be. But a great job from Bernardo De Oliveira. Moving on, and LJ Cimento and Rogel-Dorn. Honestly, no real surprises making it in. A little bit surprised about Avery Alford not really capitalizing on that 2nd place starting spot. And shout out to Carson Green. New team, new driver, and only missed out on making it to the feature by 1 spot.
Yeah, he is going to get a front row start in the LCQ as well, so we'll see how that ends up working out for him. All right, let's get this stuff going here. We're going to move on to heat number 2 and introduce the other 10 drivers we've got left. Well, 10 of the other 30 drivers we've got left here in the 2026 Wawa Cup Series. And here we go for heat number 2 of the 2026 Mello Yello SmoothFest in a wild heat number 1. We're excited to introduce 10 more drivers. Going to get through all of them here tonight. We've got some great schemes and some new faces and new places as well that we are excited to introduce here to you this evening. But Caleb, going to ask you here, after what we saw in heat number 1, do you think we're going to see something similar here in heat number 2 and the rest of the heats that we got here tonight at New Smyrna Speedway?
Definitely think it is possible. Definitely kicked the night off in crazy fashion there with the first heat, but it was so much fun. And if it is any indicator for how the rest of this night will go, I think we are definitely in for quite the fun night here from the New Smyrna Speedway. Have to see if this second heat plays out similar to the first, but hey, we'll have to see.
Going to be a lot of fun. And we're not going to waste your time like we did in heat number 1, so let's get down to it and show you guys the starting lineup here for heat number 2. This is Kirsten Bell joining Andrews Racing here. And, of course, Andrews Racing, an alliance there with Pacific Racing this year. That's Team Warp, as they call it. Kirsten Bell replacing Christian Master at what is now the number 66 machine. And Andrews Racing also joining Toyota, but Kirsten Bell staying with Toyota. Of course, Kirsten Bell was second in the championship standings last year. Actually surpassed Daniel Paulus Jr. in the finale. You know she is a great driver. Going to be interesting to see what she does with a new team, a team that has never won in the Wawa Cup Series before. I know John Aders is really hoping to get that first Wawa Cup Series win throughout the year. How about Laura Shungham, the season she had last year with Rut Racing, got the win at Bristol, made the chase and was really good. And this is one of those drivers who has been in every single Wawa Cup Series race as well. One of 15 drivers who have been in every single Wawa Cup Series race. And she returns to Rut Racing, Joe Rakowski's team, and the number 20 as she starts outside pole here in heat number 2. Nathan Smith, two-time winner last year, made the chase. A great rookie season there with Parker Davis Enterprises under the GRT banner. And returning to the DeWalt 06 here for 2026, alongside the other driver who has been with the same team throughout every season of the Wawa Cup Series, Thomas Troxel, in the number 62, 25-time winner on AG the Channel, looking to break a tie with Jesse Turner here tonight and become a 26-time winner in 2026. We'll see if he can do so there in the number 62. About Vision Motorsports, a new team, Matthew Hubert, moving from a driver to an owner, and another team under the GRT Alliance, and Philip Torres joining this team, and what an opportunity for Philip, who's kind of been at the mid-ranks of the series for quite a while. We'll see how good Vision Motorsports in. Of course, Matthew Hubert won the Turkey Hill Truck Series Championship as a driver. Philip Torres is going to get his first ever Wawa Cup Series race victory this season. Leonard Kochmer looking to do the same as well, replacing Kirsten Bell at Evans Ross Racing, also part of the Dodge Nexus Alliance. And, of course, Evans Ross Racing switching over to Dodge for the 2026 season, and Kochmer driving this scheme that we've been wanting it. We've wanted Echo to run this scheme for a couple of years now. The Pilot Flying J93, gonna look great in every single one of these Wawa Cup Series races. Angel Gutierrez is back, joining Hairgel Motorsports for the 2026 season in the number 52 machine. Of course, he drove for Millennium Motorsports. They closed down, and Gutierrez found himself here with Hairgel's team. We'll see how well he does. The 2023 Indianapolis 250 champion in that ride. And how about our man, Zachary Fitzwater? Got himself a race victory in the Turkey Hill Truck Series at the end of last season. He has made it known this is going to be his last season in the Wawa Cup Series. He has been not only in every Wawa Cup Series race, but every Cup Series race we have ever done here on the channel. We thank Fitzy so much for being a part of this for well over 11 years, because he was signing up before the Chick-fil-A Cup Series days back in 2015. And we are very excited to see what he can do this season, returning to Titan Fury Racing and Igor Bereto's team. And this is an exciting team right here. We got a couple of rookie drivers here for Tracoan Racing Enterprises. This team actually won the very first SmoothFest at New Smyrna. Not the very first SmoothFest in general, but the very first New Smyrna SmoothFest when Blaine Keys was driving for Owen Miles' team. Got a rookie driver, another true rookie here, Mateus Bento in the number 31 machine. And Skep Silver is going to be full-time in the Wawa Cup Series here. We know what Skep can do. He's been driving for Parker Davis in the trucks the past couple of years. Got a win at Iowa this year. Watch out for Skep Silver. And watch out for this team to have a better season than they did last year. All right, Nathan. You know the drivers that we got here in heat number 2. Who do you think's getting it done here at heat number 2 at the Mello Yello SmoothFest?
I think a lot of drivers can easily contend here in this heat, and we got a lot of kind of unknown potential, and I think one of those drivers that has a unknown potential in a great ride, I'm going to go with the 5th place starter in that beautiful paint scheme. Give me Leonard Kochmer to get the win here in heat number 2.
We'll see what Kochmer can do. He had a less than stellar season last year driving for Racing Motorsports. Of course, he was replacing Blaine Keys in that ride, so there were high expectations, didn't quite beat him. But Evans Ross Racing has shown a lot of consistency over the years. Just ask Kirsten Bell, who used to drive that 93. Going to be interesting to see what they can do. All right, let's get these guys to roll off here in heat number 2. And of course, personally, I'm very excited to see what Kirsten Bell can do for Andrews Racing. This is one of the few teams, one of 9 teams that has been in the Wawa Cup Series since the beginning of the series back in 2023. But they've never gone to victory lane. John Anderson's been a part of us for a long time here on AG the channel, and I know he wants to finally get one here. He's got a driver who can do it. Not to say Sam Vitale can't do it in the 61, but Kirsten Bell, we know, can go to victory lane, a 3-time winner here in the Wawa Cup Series. It'll be a lot of fun here in heat number 2. Of course, we saw an excellent heat number 1, and we're anticipating more of the same action here in heat number 2, because we got the exact same weather conditions for all these heats, exact same strength, and a 107.513. Currently the fastest heat that we got. We'll see if they can beat it right here. All right, heat number 2 underway here at the new Smyrna Speedway. And Kirsten overshooting it there. And here comes Nathan Smith for the race lead. We saw the same thing happen in heat number 1. And Nathan Smith taking advantage of Kirsten Bell's misfortune. And Nathan Smith will lead lap number 1 here in heat number 2.
Kochmer, the 93, already up here in the 2nd position. Nathan Smith leaves the bottom open there. Kochmer trying to take advantage. Can't quite get there just yet. But it's all over the back bumper. And now to the inside of the 06 and Nathan Smith here for the race lead. You got Philip Torres back there going for 3rd. And right now, side by side there for the last transfer spot as Gutierrez sends it down the inside of Laura Chung. Almost making contact. Here comes the 81. Skep Silver maybe looking to take advantage here. Maybe we might get 3 wide for the transfer spot again.
How about Skep Silver? Great to see Skep in the Wawa Cup Series, and he's had an excellent run over in the Truck Series, and now he's going to be a part of the main series on the channel this year. And, you know, I have a good feeling about Dracoan and maybe improving from what they had last year as an organization, and this is an organization that has a lot of potential as well. Of course, they had Blaine Keys a couple years ago. Of course, Skep Silver drives for Parker Davis over in the trucks. It's Parker Davis Enterprises taking the race lead away there with Nathan Smith ahead of Leonard Kochmer, and Kirsten Bell has regained her spot right back up to this top 3. Skep Silver up to the 4th position. Laura Chung, just like Alford there in heat number 1, has slipped to the back of the field, and Thomas Troxel struggling as around goes Kirsten and Leonard Kochmer. We missed it, and heavy damage on the 66 machine. And that's going to end Kirsten Bell's race here in heat number 2. She will be in the LCQ from that. And Kochmer also taken out as well. And our first wreck of the season here in the 2026 Wawa Cup Series.
That was the top 2 on the racetrack.
It was.
That took each other out. What on earth?
Hey, look who's in 2nd now to take advantage of that.
Yeah, how about Fitzy up to 2nd? Where did he come from? That
whole
whole order got shuffled around because they had to check up for the accident. All right, quick yellow here at New Smyrna Speedway. Let's go ahead and see what happened to bring it out here in heat number 2 of the Mello Yello SmoothFest. Well. This is a traditional New Smyrna style accident. Kirsten Bell just driving it in way too deep there in the turn number 1. Did not clear her former ride. Now driven by Leonard Kochmer. And hard to the outside wall. That is a head-on hit for Kirsten Bell, going to take her out of the heat. She will still be in the LCQ. Of course, this does not take her out of the entire event. Leonard Kochmer then getting spun around by Skep Silver in the 81. How about Zachary Fitzwater there? This is how he got himself up to 2nd. That inside lane got around him. Mateus Bento is going to be 3rd across the line. Got Gutierrez and Torres finding their way around. Troxel actually got a piece of that one right there with Leonard Kochmer. We'll see if that ends up affecting him throughout the race. Tough break for the pole sitter of heat number 2. Kirsten Bell out of the heat. She's going to have to go to the LCQ here tonight in the Mello Yello SmoothFest.
Welcome to 2026, everybody. the first staple jinx, I put the 93, and Kirsten Bell just slid up and hollered into the outside wall for Kirsten Bell. That was a big hit. Boxer with a piece, and same with the 31 of Bento with a small tap. And this is gonna shake up the running order. From second on Bat, Nathan Smith was the leader, is gonna be the leader on the restart, but Fitzwater up to second, got through the wreck and gonna really shake everything up here in heat number 2.
Gonna be a lot of fun to see who gets this Heat 2 win and get right back to it. Let's see how it all goes down here in the Mello Yello SmoothFest. Alright, we're back here at the new Smyrna Speedway, doing 2-lap cautions under these heats so that we can get as much racing in. This is going to hurt these guys and their chances and their starting positions in the feature event. But out of the race, at least out of the heat, Kirsten Bell will be in the LCQ. And Koshman's getting back around there. This completely turned everything over on its head in terms of the running order. Nathan Smith's out front. And how about this? How about Zachary Fitzwater going forward to the inside of Nathan Smith for the race lead? Couldn't quite get the advantage. Didn't quite have the drive off, but he's got an opportunity in winning this heat now. You got Mateus Bento, his first career start on the channel here, racing alongside Zachary Fitzwater, by the way. And you got Angel Gutierrez and Skep Silver looking to take the last transfer spot right now. They're still led by Nathan Smith in the 06, as it's going to be 5 laps to go. And here he comes. Here comes Fitzy. His teammate LJ Semedo already advanced on to the feature. Will Fitzwater be able to get a heat win in the Mello Yello SmoothFest?
I think there's a bunch of teams that I think could have a rebound year, and one of them is Titan Fury. As you mentioned, Zachary Fitzwater's teammate is already in. Right now, Fitzy's in, but he does not just want to be in. He wants to win.
Here he goes.
He's got a nose.
Lead.
How about Mr. Zachary Fitzwater, the Iron Man here on AG of the channel? As for the transfer spot, Thomas Troxel trying to take it away from Gutierrez, but focusing on Fitzwater, taking the race lead away here in heat number 2. How about this for Zachary Fitzwater? And it was such a special moment when he got that win. He pushed it up really wide, though. And Nathan Smith going to take it right back away. 2 laps to go. Fitzy still has a shot here. Will he have enough time to rebound back to the inside?
He's got right back up there. He's already back on the back bumper of the 06. Looking to try and take advantage. Smith slides up the track just a bit. You got your Cohen teammates back there going at it for 30s, peeking to the inside. Going into 1 and 2. Not enough to get there just yet. We'll see if he makes the last-ditch effort here in 3 and 4.
He's got one more opportunity to get to Nathan Smith for the heat win. Not going to quite get it, but he's going to be in the feature. It's Nathan Smith, Zachary Fitzwater, Skep Silver, Mateus Bento, and Thomas Troxel gets the last transfer spot ahead of Laura Chung to advance on to the Mello Yello SmoothFest feature.
Whew. There's going to be some good drivers in the LCQ from that one.
Oh, no doubt about it. Kochmer and Bell especially were 1-2 and had that accident occur. Wild stuff here in New Smyrna Speedway. I tell you what, this feature event's shaping up to be fascinating because you got both the Dracoan guys making it on. Skep Silver and Mateus Bento going to be going for a SmoothFest win. And hey, Bruno Diacomo, his only win in anything in the Wawa Cup Series is this Mello Yello SmoothFest. He's never won a points-paying race, so this race can go to anyone. And that's what makes it so special. 91-786. That wreck did not help them out. And they are not going to get the pole position, Nathan Smith, in that team. That is for sure. But we'll see where they end up as we move on throughout these heat races. Caleb, what on earth was that? It's a lot of fun, I know that much. But how about Zachary Fitzwater? Taking the lead there, almost getting this heat win here in the number 99. Driver who's never won before in the Wawa Cup Series, even though he's been a part of this since the beginning.
Yeah, definitely. What a heat this was here for the second race here tonight. Definitely have to give huge congratulations there to Nathan Smith for getting the Heat 2 victory. But like we're talking about, how about that 99 of Zachary Fitzwater? Like you were talking about pre-race, got that race win at Talladega in the Turkey Hill Truck Series, which was just absolutely just incredible to see. And you just got a lot of storylines from this from this heat as well. You got both the Dracoan cars, Skep Silver and Mateus Bento, finishing in the top 5. They're going to be in the feature race fighting for the win. Nice stuff to see there for Skep Silver, who's got a lot of experience throughout these past couple of years, and Mateus Bento, a rookie here on the Wawa Cup Series. Nice up there for him. You got Thomas Trox, who slipped back there early on, managed to claw his way back up to 5th, and definitely intriguing to see what happened to the 9-3 of Kochmer and the 66 of Kirsten Bell, but maybe even already a bit of beef starting here in just the second heat of this event. But we'll have to see how that all transpires as we head throughout the night. But what a race here in Heat 2, and like I was talking about pre-race, if this stuff is any indicator for how the rest of the night's going to go, we are definitely in for quite a wild one.
No doubt about it. We're just getting started here tonight. 2 more heats to go, then we move on to the LCQs. Let's move on to heat number 3 here on the 2026 Mello Yello SmoothFest. All right. You thought we had some stacked fields leading up to this one. This is about as stacked as it can get here in heat number 3. And how about the drivers we've got? Daniel Paulus Jr., Blaine Keys, Nicholas Samadio, and last year's SmoothFest winner, Brian Webb, returning to Racing Motorsports. A lot of good stuff here and some other good drivers in this field. And Nathan, I'm going to have to ask you, we saw a wreck there in heat number 2. You talk about that staple, Jinx. You're not going to pick the winner in this one, but do you think we're going to get a wreck here in heat number 3?
It's probably a good thing I'm not going to pick the winner for Heat 3, because you don't need back-to-back jinxes, but it's going to be interesting, because Heat number 1 was definitely really calm. Heat number 2 was very chaotic. So, we'll see if the pattern continues, and Heat 3 is like Heat 1, or if Heat 3 is like Heat number 2, but this racetrack, we say this all the time, is so good, and I think it's just going to continue for the rest of the night, and with this being the most stacked driver lineup heat so far, we could be in for a show here for heat number 3.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We're gonna see some sparks fly here in this one. All right. How about this? How about Daniel Paulus Jr. starting on the pole position? You know he's got a chip on his shoulder. He was one of the more dominant drivers in the early part of last year before Duncan Ward kind of came and took that away from him. And, of course, the heartbreak of Darlington ended up falling behind, blowing an engine, and ended up finishing 3rd in the championship standing. So he gets the 3rd heat to start on pole here tonight. But, of course, he's returning to Team Velocitar for his 4th season. He's another one of the 14 or 15 drivers, I should say, who have been in every single Wawa Cup Series race. Alongside him, Jack Haas in the number 39. Another solid year for him last year. Made the chase again. Looking to have a little bit more success. He's just one of those guys. There's a lot of potential there, but hasn't quite unlocked the full potential. We'll see if this new alliance works out with Evans Ross Racing and Jack Haas returning to the 39 for a 3rd straight year. All-time winningest driver on AG, the channel, and the 2023 Mello Yello SmoothFest winner, Blaine Keys, for the first time in Blaine Keys' Wawa Cup Series career. He's actually returning to the same team he drove the year prior, so back with Pacific Racing. There's some consistency there for him, and we're excited to see what Blaine Keys can do. I have a good feeling about Blaine here in this 2026 season. And for the first time in the Wawa Cup Series, Caleb, your boy, Nicholas Samadio, not driving for you. Of course, as we know, we took Caleb's team away because, hey, next Thursday night, we got the Wawa National Series from Homestead. That is going to cook so much. We're looking forward to that, and we're looking forward to seeing what Nicholas Samadio can do with his new/old team. This is Zidell Motorsports, Justin Zidell becoming an owner. Back in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series days, Nicholas Samadio drove for Zidell in that series, and here he is back with Justin again, driving the number 17 Ford Motocraft machine, and of course Mr. Edge looking to rebound from the kind of off season he had last year with you guys at Appalachian Motorsports. Excited to see what Mr. Edge can do here in the 2026 season, and we're excited to see what Mr. Steal Ya Win can do in a ride that we know can steal ya win. Team Velocitar signing on Braden Perez to replace Matthew Huber, who became an owner. Of course, Braden has not won in the Wawa Cup Series since 2023. Ironically enough, I think it was the race Drew Webb blew the tire in Michigan. So it's been a while for Perez in going to victory lane, but he's got an opportunity here in the number FedEx 11 machine. Absolutely fire scheme by Stewart and Matt and those guys at GRT. And how about Brian Webb here for Racing Motorsports, winner of the SmoothFest last year, got a win at Talladega last year as well. Brian Webb, another driver who's been in every race, same with Braden Perez, driving the 43 Sunoco machine there for Racing Motorsports. Great scheme. And his teammate is Carson Miller. And if you know anything about Carson Miller, he'd had a great season in the Wawa Cup Series last year in the full-time unchartered ride Well, now he's full-time outright. He's going to be in every race here in the 41, the same ride that Blaine Keys ran in 2 years ago. And the Aaron Abel's team looking to have a bit more of a better season than they did a year ago. Brad Stover, who's also been in every race in the Wawa Cup Series, joining Anderson Junior Enterprises in number 73. Of course, he's hopped around to a few teams. We'll see what he can do this season in that ride. BB Ruiz, driving the 86 machine for Durrani Racing. It's a very good team last year when Andrew Miller was behind the wheel. BB Ruiz has some wins on the channel. He's been around. He's an owner in the National Series. We'll see what he can do as a driver for Durrani Racing. And I think we got another rookie coming up here in the next heat. But this guy doesn't deserve to be called a rookie. 12-time winner in 2025 alone. Alexander Rowe is full-time now, driving for Travis Crampton and Triad Racing here in the Wawa Cup Series. And we're coming up on the Daytona 500 in a couple of weeks. He won the Daytona 500, I believe. It was 2020 when he did that. So Alexander Rowe, he's far from being a rookie. He's about the most non-rookie rookie we've ever had. And we're excited for Alexander Rowe to be full-time in the Wawa Cup Series in the big 2026. All right, Caleb, those are your 10 drivers. I'm going to give you the hard task of picking one of them to win here in heat number 3.
Well, we're 1 for 1 here so far in these heat races, so let's hope we can maybe keep this streak up. But yeah, like we were talking about, definitely have a lot of fantastic drivers here in this heat. But I think I'm going to look back to row number 3, the number 11 of Braden Perez, like you were talking about, teaming up there with Team Velocitar and looking for a return to form there for Mr. Stelio win. I think he's going to steal a win here tonight. He's going to get it done here in heat number 3.
So, see, he's got to beat Blaine Keys and Daniel Paulus Jr. That's hard for a lot of people to do, but if anyone can do it, it's Mr. Steely win. Let's go ahead and get these guys to roll off here in heat number 3. Of course, Daniel Paulus Jr., his first win last year of the 5 that he got in the Wawa Cup Series in 2025 came at the Martinsville Speedway in that photo finish that he had with his teammate Matthew Hubert. One of the closest finishes of 2025. Hey, this race sometimes sees some close finishes in the heats and LCQs. It gets very interesting down the line. And of course, Daniel Paulus Jr., a chip on his shoulder from what happened last year. He wants to go all the way and win this Wawa Cup Series championship. That's why he's here at Team Velocitar. And we know he's got the capability of doing so. There's going to be a lot of effort put in on that team to get it done here in 2026. Pace car is down. It's heat number 3. And we're back underway here at the new Smyrna Speedway. And Paulus with a rear full of Blaine Keys right there. Almost got spun around off the exit of the corner. But for the first time, the pole sitter is going to lead lap number 1 of the heat. And Paulus out front with Blaine Keys behind him. Here comes Braden Perez. Here comes Carson Miller in the 41. And Blaine's got a nose to the inside now on the 54.
That made some contact off turn number 2 there between the top 2, and this is some good old short track racing, and we have said it a ton. This is a very competitive heat, and just look at it. The top 4 were all double file, and now we are double file 206 as Brian Perez is on the move here, and we got 2 Dodge Nexus Alliance teammates kind of battling for this final fifth spot. Alexander Rowe, two-time champ last year, makes contact with Jack Haas. 3 wide for last place here. Welcome to the new Smyrna. Fantastic stuff here to kick off heat number 3.
Yeah, Nicholas Samadeo struggling just a little bit there in the 17 machine. A little off the pace there, trying to get around Brad Stover. Brian Webb, last year's SmoothFest winner, went on that Linsanity run in the feature event a year ago. Well, he's got to go on a Linsanity run if he wants to make it into the show right here. How about Alexander Rowe up to second now to the inside of Carson Miller. A couple of guys, I know they ran a lot in the Sprint Series, the Pro Series, and won championships over the past couple of years in those respective series. Alexander Rowe there for Triad Racing off to the second position, but Blaine Keys, you know, he did this last week too. I think he won his heat last week at the Pro Series race, and here he is with a comfortable lead here in heat number 3. Got to beat that 107.513. Want a shot at the pole for the feature. The Velocitar guys hold on to the last 2 transfer spots. Here comes Braden Perez looking to take 4th away. And BB Ruiz is right there looking to take the last transfer spot away. And Carson Miller looking to take 2nd away from Alexander Rowe. Each of these spots is worth 4 starting positions on the grid in the feature event. So it's a big deal to run well in these heats. And how about Paulus slipping back? He won the pole for this heat, and he's slipping back in that 54 machine as Brian Webb, Jack Kaz, BB Ruiz all try to take it away from him.
Definitely seeing a lot of shuffling here in this heat. How about Carson Miller, Alexander Rowe up to second and third respectively. Looking to try and take chase there to that 23 of Blaine Keys. You got Perez right now in fourth and side by side right now for the final transfer spot as Haas looking to get back in to the top five, trying to get underneath BB Ruiz as Daniel Paulus Jr. has slipped outside of the top five. However, he is still right there at him. And how about Carson Miller looking to take the race lead away from Keys?
Oh, no!
Too much! He's into the wall!
And upside down goes Carson Miller, and just a bit too adventurous, and Blaine Keys going to get taken out of that as well. Alexander Rowe wins the race back to the line. We're going to have ourselves 2 to go to finish this race. Oh, boy. We saw it happen to Kirsten Bell and Leonard Kochfer, and now Blaine Keys and Carson Miller taking each other out here in heat number 3. Unbelievable.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, we're going to go ahead, quickly replay it, and then get back to racing here in the Mello Yello SmoothFest for heat number 3. Alexander Rowe out front in the 72 for Triad Racing. Ah, man. Carson Miller. I don't want to say rookie mistake. He's been in this series before, but rookie mistake. Too much sauce into the corner. And the sauce car takes the lead with Alexander Rowe taking it away. He'll restart first here in just a moment. Blaine Keys getting sideswiped by BB Ruiz. That may actually been what took Blaine Keys out. But Carson Miller obviously done for the heat. He'll be in the LCQ. But those are two guys we anticipate, especially Blaine having a good season. Carson Miller, we anticipate a lot of good things out of Carson in that 41 machine with Racing Motorsports this year. But that was not a good thing. And hard into the outside wall for the rookie driver as Alexander Rowe won the race back to the line. He'll restart first here once we get back to racing in just a moment.
Well, we've seen something similar going on in just the last heat between Kirsten Bell and Leonard Kochner. You're going to see Carson Miller just too hot into the corner, up into the wall. And unfortunately for there, Carson Miller's chances of locking himself in the feature go upside down. And Blaine Keys goes up in smoke.
Tough break for those guys, especially Blaine in the number 32, because this is a guy who's won this event before, and now he's in a position to maybe not even make the feature. And this is Blaine Keys we're talking about. He's won more races in the Wawa Cup Series than anyone else. 10 points-paying wins in the 92 races we've had in this series. So, tough break to see that, but that's just the nature of the SmoothFest. It ain't smooth all the time, but it's smooth for Alexander Rowe right now. He's out front. Let's see what happens. Final 2 laps of heat number 3. All right, back here, heat number 3, going to be 2 laps to go. Not exactly what these guys wanted in their attempts to win the pole. Looking good for Duncan Ward to get that pole for the feature event. Alexander Rowe looking good to maybe win a heat. He started 9th in this heat. He's all the way up to the top position. Brain Perez, Jack Kaz, Daniel Paulus Jr., BB Ruiz in the transfer spots. Last year's SmoothFest winner, Brian Webb there. Stover and Sam Minnie, the only other guys still left in the race. As you have both Blaine Keys and Carson Miller out of it from the accident. Alexander Rowe way wide. And they're 3 wide for the third position. And BB Ruiz in the 86 does not want to go off easy here tonight. And the white flag's out for the heat, so it's pandemonium for the transfer. It's pandemonium for the race win. And Braden Perez side by side with Alexander Rowe. And Mr. Steal Ya Win might just steal the win away from the 72. Coming across the line, it will be Perez who wins heat 3. With Alexander Rowe, Daniel Paulus Jr., BB Ruiz, and Jack Haas advancing on to the feature event.
Everybody
2 for 2.
Yeah, Caleb is on a
Buy a
roll.
lottery ticket, Caleb. Are you old enough to do that, right?
Yeah.
I think you are. Now you are. Hey, Braden Perez, a little bit of return to form right there for him and getting that race victory. Now, of course, an official AG the channel win. These guys just a touch slower, though, than heat number 2, so they're going to be either third or fourth. They're going to be starting outside lane regardless in the feature, but 75 laps in the feature event. They got some time to get it to work right there. Ooh, that was some fun stuff. That was some fun stuff. We didn't need to show you that. This is what we wanted to show you. 0.057. That was pretty darn close. And Brain Perez got it over Alex in a row there. Daniel Paul Jr. made it on, and if that wreck did not happen, he may not have advanced. How about BB Ruiz? I don't think it's much of a surprise considering the team and what they did in the Turkey Hill Truck Series, but BB Ruiz, new driver of the Wawa Cup Series, has never even made a Wawa Cup Series start. And he just went up there and was like, I'm going 3 wide on Paulus and Jack Haas here. And he made it work, and he's in the show, Jack Haas, as well as the last transfer spot. Brian Webb, just barely missed out, and he's going to be starting front row for one of the LCQs. Brad Stover, Nicholas Samedeo just didn't have any speed in this one. Blaine Keys, Carson Miller, we saw what happened to them. Got taken out in the accident. Nathan, oh boy, that was some fun stuff. One more heat left to go. Do you think those guys are watching what we've seen these last 2 heats? And I'm like, let's not do that, guys. We need to have a good run and get that pole position for the feature.
Absolutely, I think. For everyone in heat number 4, they have seen what's happened in heat 2 and heat 3, and they're like, "Hey, let's be like what heat number 1 was. Go clean and green to the end, and hopefully not tear up anything, because we've seen some good drivers and some good cars get torn up already in these heats, and we're gonna see blank keys in ALCQ. Absolutely crazy things here. Shout out to BB Ruiz. Not really the car, because we know what Dwight can do as a owner. We saw it last year with Van Miller. But shout out to BB Ruiz. First time in the Wawa Cup Series, and he is in to a feature. What a heat number 3, Alex, and we only got one more before. It's really, really intense until we get to the LCQs.
Going to be a lot of fun as we continue on throughout the night. One more heat. Here's the final 10 full-time drivers in the 2026 Wawa Cup Series. All right. Here we go. We've had the first 3. We're down to one more heat. The final 10 full-time drivers, which you will see here in the 2026 Wawa Cup Series. And we did expand the field. 40 full-time guys who are going to be in every race. And the hot seats are going to be 8 owners and 8 teams. They'll be selecting the drivers throughout the season, but with qualifying going away, with the exception of the Daytona 500, it's gonna be a little simpler in that regard. But hey, excited for heat number 4 after what we saw in heat 2, heat 3 especially. Oh boy, it all hit the fan in those 2 races, and it might do the same here, but we'll just have to see how it all goes down. Nathan, what's your call on this? How do you think? No, Caleb's turn now. Caleb, how do you think this is going to play out here in heat number 4?
Well, yeah, like we talking about, those last 2 heats definitely got quite chaotic. We've been starting to see some wrecks pop up, and especially there in that last heat with Carson Miller and Blaine Keys, unfortunately taking each other out there from the race lead. Things are definitely kind of amping on as this night goes along, so it's going to be interesting to see what this 4th heat does entail. But definitely excited to see how it does play out, and then after this, we'll be getting into the LCQs, and I think with how these heats have played out, those are definitely going to be quite interesting races there as well. But going to be interesting to see who we do see lock themselves into the feature race here with this last heat, and who we are going to see fighting for their last chance in the feature event in the LCQs.
Going to be a lot of fun, as it has been all night long. These guys want to beat at 107.513 to get the pole position, and the primary, the best spots to start for the feature. That's what you want. If you get that fastest lap. So they don't want any wrecks, because if that's the case, then we know Duncan Ward's going to lead us off in the feature event here in just a few moments. But we got 10 more drivers. We got Isaac Nichols, 2-time winner last year with Parker Davis Enterprises. Such a great season for Isaac. This is another guy who has championship potential, and so does the guy next to him, Logan Williams. Your boy, Caleb, drove for you for many years there at Appalachian Motorsports, and he's now with Intersys Motor Racing, which is essentially Drew Webb's old ride at Groton Motorsport from last year in the 7-Up 64. Watch out for Logan Williams under the GRT banner. That is going to be a heck of a lot of fun seeing that play out. Of course, we know Logan, very talented driver. Actually one of 3 drivers, by the way, who have won in every season of the Wawa Cup Series. along with Thomas Troxel and Blaine Keys. Not a bad list to be a part of. How about Tanner Parton? This is a guy who's been in every Wawa Cup Series race, has never won before. Drove for you guys in NS Racing, Nathan, last year. He's now with your buddy Travis Crampton in the 05. This is one of those classic, iconic schemes that we got running in the series. Great to see it in Cup. Great to see Travis Crampton as an owner, and I think he's got some potential with Tanner Parton, who had a great year last year in that 97. Just couldn't quite get to victory lane. Same can be said for Alex Vitale there in Andrews Racing. John Andrews getting the returning driver, which is great. Joining him along with Team Warp there in the Pacific Racing Alliance, and Alex Vitale almost made the chase last year, just couldn't quite pull it off, but he returns to the number 61 here in 2026. Bryce Egan, wouldn't you know, Bryce Egan has never won a race on the channel before. He came close nearly 2 years ago at North Wilkesboro. That was the one race Nicholas Sambadio won in the Wawa Cup Series, but Bryce Egan going to be teammates there, the Philip Torres at Vision Motorsports, driving this awesome-looking number 27 Napa machine. Hey, if you've been around long enough, you know what this channel used to be, so I respect that a lot. And here's another classic ride. This used to be Travis Crampton's ride. He's now an owner. And Nathan, you did the great thing of signing on Zane Davidson, the guy who's been trying to get into the series for quite a while. And he's now got a full-time ride and a good one at that. As actually the best of the uncharted drivers a year ago, driving for Team Williams. Now he's in the number 98 machine, the JBL machine, looking to get a good season here in the Wawa Cup Series. Roberto Crown Jr. got a win right at the end of 2025 with Dracoan Racing Enterprises at Daytona. And here he is, going to be teammates to Nicholas Sambadio over at Zidell Motorsports. Christian Master is back. And he's one of those guys who's in the very first race, going to be driving for Durrani Racing in the number 78. Looking for his second ever win in the Wawa Cup Series this season. It's been around a long time. Love to see Christian Master back in a ride. And then Mahindra Motorsports. They're rounding out the final row in heat number 4. Johnson Jameson, who was a full-time uncharted driver last year, did not make a single solitary race. But he is going to make all the races this year in that Best Water Technology number 42 alongside Sarah Taylor, another driver who's been trying to get into the series for a long time. Going to be the teammate there, the Johnson Jameson. Going to be a lot of fun to see what Mahindra Motorsports can do. They had a lot of success over in the truck series, and I think we're looking forward to seeing how it all shakes out for those guys throughout the season. All right, Nathan, who you jinxing here tonight? You can pick anyone you want here in heat number 4.
Well, Caleb was 2 for 2. I am 0 for 1. Hopefully, maybe it can flip the script here. Now I'm going to go with someone that I think could have a breakout season. Could be the number 27 of Bryce Egan to get the job done in heat race number 4.
You know, your name starting with the letter B is a good thing in this race. That streak might just continue if he makes it on. We'll see if that ends up being the case. All right, let's get on to it here. Heat number 4 with Isaac Nichols and Logan Williams out front. Of course, both of these drivers had very successful 2025 seasons in the Wawa Cup Series. Both drivers made the chase. Both finished top 5 in the championship standings as well. Of course, Isaac Nichols returning to Parker Davis Enterprises, and Logan Williams joining the dark side, as many people like to call it. There with Grattan Racing Technologies and Intrasys Motor Racing. Definitely excited for this one. Tanner Parton, also a driver to watch out for in this event, starting 3rd. So much potential there at Triad Racing. So much potential for a good heat number 4, as we have seen in the other heats so far tonight. Green flag in the air here in New Smyrna for the last heat of the 2026 Mello Yello SmoothFest. And that was the best jump from the pole sitter we've seen all night long. Isaac Nichols, and a good jump from 2nd place. Logan Williams cutting right down there in front of Tanner Parton for that 2nd position.
A great start there from our front row. They're already clear of the rest of the field here for now as they continue to jostle for position. Jameson maybe looking 3 wider as we head to 3 and 4. Thinks better of it, drops back in line behind the 7, Roberto Crown Jr. But our top 2, honestly, looking to try maybe even pull away here from the rest of the field. After we know here at New Smyrna, things can change quickly, so we'll have to see if these guys can maybe reel our top 2 back in as Bryce Egan there in the 27 clears for the 3rd position as the battle for the transfer spot right now between Roberto Crown Jr. in the 7 and the 61 of Alex Vitale.
And you also got Johnson Jameson here as well, trying to find himself in the battle. Zayden Davison dropped all the way to the back of the field, and no, that's not what you guys expected there at NS Racing. Bit of a A struggle bus there for Tanner Parton as well. Did not get a good start there from starting third. He's down to the fourth position, still in a transfer spot. And how about Roberto Crown Jr.? Finally got that Wawa Cup Series win at Daytona, the Valvoline 400. What a race that was. I'm trying to rebound here with Zidell Motorsports in the 2026 season. And for the lead, how about Logan Williams looking to take it away here from Isaac Nichols? He's got the inside lane, and he's going to take it away here on lap number 6.
Great job from Logan Williams in the number 54. Let's slide up. I thought Isaac Nichols was going to try and cross him over. Not quite. And there's a lot of potential drivers that could be strong this year. And here's two of them. Cliff Johnson Jameson and Roberto Crown Jr. Back out front goes the number 6 of Isaac Nichols. And here comes the number 27 of Bryce Egan. I believe that all three of these are part of the GRT Alliance, and they are doing a great job here in heat number 4. And we gotta see what ends up happening in the second half of this heat.
This is easily the best race that GRT has had so far here tonight. There are 3 drivers in this heat, 1, 2, 3, and they're racing cleanly as well, which is great to see. We have not seen that out of all the drivers so far here tonight. Logan Williams trying to close back in. You know, he won a heat a couple weeks ago in the Body Armor Pro Series at South Boston. And, you know, he's thinking about that. He wants to get this one. And these guys have potential. Right now they're holding on to that pole position for the feature event. And maybe Logan's thinking about that just a little bit. Of course, the second fastest heat gets the 3rd place start, which is a great spot to start as well. Logan Williams started outside pole for this heat. Easily the best job anyone from the outside pole has done in any of these heats so far, but look at how spread out these guys have gotten. Here's the last transfer spot, by the way. Christian Master looking to take it away from Johnson Jameson. A great run for Christian Master, longtime veteran driver to the channel. Looking to make it into the feature event. Tanner Parton looking to take a spot away from Bryce Egan, and Logan Williams looking to take the lead back away from Isaac Nichols.
Got a lot of battles going on this racetrack here as time starts running out. Here in heat number 4, Christian Master clears Johnson Jameson there for that last transfer spot as Logan Williams clears Isaac Nichols for the lead here. Coming to 2 laps to go. He got Parton up into 3rd now, and actually Jameson, I think, is back up into 5th now, back past the 78. This fight for the transfer battle is surely not over, and I'm sure the battle for the lead ain't quite over just yet either.
No, it isn't, but they only got 1 lap to go here in heat number 4. Logan Williams trying to hold on to this top position. Isaac Nichols wants to get it. 107.903, looking pretty good for the pole position for whoever wins this heat. And that whoever is going to be Logan Williams in Intersys Motor Racing. Logan Williams gets heat number 4 and the pole for the feature event in the Mello Yello SmoothFest. Isaac Nichols, Bryce Egan, Tanner Parton, and Christian Master got the last transfer spot away from the rookie driver. There's the veteran experience showing itself here tonight at the new Smyrna Speedway. And how about Durrani Racing, both of their guys in the feature event to start off the night here at new Smyrna Speedway.
Boy,
How about that?
How about Logan Williams? He's going to be leading them off to the green flag for the feature of the Mello Yello SmoothFest here in 2026. And I know there's a part of you, Caleb, that loves to see that. Used to be a driver there at Appalachian Motorsports, and yeah, that was a good run for him right there from the outside pole as well. So watch out for Logan here tonight. He is going to be going for it there with his new team. Isaac Nichols, Tanner Parton, Bryce Egan, Christian Master all advance on. Almost for Johnson Jameson. The good news for Johnson Jameson, he's going to start on the pole for LCQ number 1. So he's going to have a good opportunity at it there. Roberto Crown Jr., Zayden Davidson, Sarah Taylor, Alex Samantali. And no caution in this race, no wreck. They raced it clean. They got spread out pretty quick. And Logan Williams up to the front here. And Caleb, now that we've gotten all the heats out of the way, what are you expecting in these LCQs? Because we got some pretty big names in these LCQs trying to make it into the feature event.
Absolutely. Definitely going to have some very interesting names here in this LCQ. And, of course, with the tensions and everything rising, because at this point, this is their last chance to make it into the feature event. If you don't deliver at this point, you're going to be going home. So Definitely going to be interesting to see how that transpires into the race. I know the patience is definitely going to be running thin, and man, what a night so far here from the new Smyrna Speedway. Some great heat races to start the night out. Had two pretty chaotic ones and two calm ones, and definitely nice to end it off here on a calm one with Logan Williams getting the race victory like you're talking about. Definitely happy to see that there for Logan Williams. Great run as well there for the 6 of Isaac Nichols, and yeah, like we were talking about, this group especially got kind of spread out over the course of the race, but and let them keep it clean all the way to the end. Tanner Parton, Bryce Egan, definitely have to shout out there Christian Master getting into the feature race with, I believe, what might have even been a last lap pass there on the 42 of Johnson Jameson. A tough break there for the 42, but if there is any silver lining, is that 42 definitely has a fast car, and a car that I do believe is capable of potentially doing well in the LCQ. Have to see how it all ends up playing out, but like you were talking about earlier on, this night is still far from over. Still got the LCQs and the main event up ahead, and definitely cannot wait to see how those end up shaking out.
Going to be a lot of fun. Here's how they're going to line up in each LCQ. LCQ number 1 is going to be Johnson Jameson, Laura Chung, row number 1, Roberto Crown Jr., Angel Gutierrez, row 2, Zayden Davidson, and the 63 of Philip Torres in row number 3, Sarah Taylor and the 93 of Leonard Koshmer in row number 4, and then Alex Amitali and his teammate Kirsten Bell in row number 5. That's LCQ number 1. LCQ number 2 is going to see the 84 machine of Carson Green alongside the 43 of Brian Webb, the 4 of Trey Bartow alongside the 73 of Brad Stover, the 13 of Avery Alford alongside the 17 of Nicholas Samadio, 67 of Aaron Lukes alongside the 32 of Blaine Keys, and then Bruno Diacomo in the 70 alongside the number 41 of Carson Miller. All 3 of the past SmoothFest winners are in the LCQs, which in theory they could all make it on, but the odds are not in their favor, and we could go into the feature event with a guarantee that we'll have a new winner of the Mello Yello SmoothFest here tonight. Well, hey, we're just getting started. Let's move on to LCQ number 1. Johnson Jameson going to be right in this right here, leading us off here for 30 laps of the new Smyrna Speedway. All right, we're done with the heats, and now it is crunch time. The last opportunity to be in the feature event here for the Mello Yello SmoothFest in 2026. We got LCQ number 1. We got LCQ number 2. The fastest LCQ gets the inside lane 21st and 23rd starting positions in the feature, and the slowest LCQ will get 22nd and 24th starting positions in the feature, and then we let her rip for 75 laps in said feature event. In these LCQs, only the top 2 finishers advance on. Everybody else goes home. We'll see you next week at Homestead Miami Speedway. And Nathan, we saw some crazy stuff in the heat races. We got 10 cars again on the racetrack, only it's double the length, 30 laps. You expecting it to be just as wild as we saw in Heat 2 and Heat 3?
Absolutely. I think it'll be very chaotic knowing that it might be 10 drivers again, but it's double the length, and we take only 2 make it from each LCQ. So it's definitely going to be interesting on who makes it and who doesn't. I said at the top of the show, probably some good names will not make it into the feature here tonight, just how the series is now. And we gotta see which 2 make it from the first one and which 8 go home early.
Going to be a lot of fun to see how it all ends up shaking out in terms of who makes it on and who doesn't, because we got some big names, especially over in LCQ number 2, who they're starting deep in the field, and we'll get into some of those here in heat number 1 as well. LCQ number 1, we already got through the heats, and Johnson Jameson almost made it on, just got passed by Christian Master right at the end of that last heat that we just had, and Laura Chung, another solid driver there, going to be starting second in this heat. Roberto Crown Jr. and Angel Gutierrez there in row number 2. We got Zayden Davidson there in the 98 machine, and Philip Torres in the 63. Got Sarah Taylor, Leonard Koshmer there, Alex Amitali, and Kirsten Bell, teammates at Andrews Racing in the back row. And Caleb, a very strong group of drivers when you really boil it down to, especially guys like Kirsten Bell, who was second in the championship standings last year. Do you think Kirsten Bell has an opportunity moving from the back to the front, or will it be somebody else giving this race victory in LCQ number 1?
I mean, yeah, I definitely think Kirsten might have the opportunity to make it from the back to the front. We definitely saw it with the 72 of Alexander Rowe there just a heat race or two ago. He had a very fast car, was able to cut his way through the field, make his way up towards the front. And I definitely think Kirsten Bell might have the opportunity to do the same. We know that she has a fast car. She showed it in her heat race before, unfortunately, getting involved there with the 93 of Leonard Koshmer, resulting in both of them being taken out of the race. But yeah, the 93 as well. I think both those have very fast cars, but we definitely have some other fast cars in this LCQ as well. Like talking about Johnson Jameson there in the 42, just barely missed out there on making it in there on a just about last lap pass. Laura Chung, we also know, was fast, so there's definitely going to be some competition here in this LCQ, and it's definitely going to be interesting to see how it does play out.
Going to be a lot of fun to see how it all ends up shaking out here in LCQ number 1. Let's go ahead and get these drivers to roll off here and see who makes it into the last couple of spots for the feature event in the 2026 Mello Yello SmoothFest. All right, and here we go for the LCQ. The first LCQ, Johnson Jameson on the front row with Laura Chung. Virgil Crown Jr. Angel Gutierrez there. Couple longtime veterans. Of course, Johnson Jameson, a rookie officially this season with Mahindra Motorsports. Had a great run in the heat that we just had. Getting back out there right away here in LCQ number 1. This is your last chance to make it into the feature if you want a shot at the Mello Yello SmoothFest win. So let's see how it all ends up shaking out. Pace car is down the pit lane. Here we go. 30 laps this time around to award the last 2 spots that these guys have an opportunity at. Johnson Jameson way wide into the quarter panel there. And here comes Roberto Crown Jr. trying to get something to go their way on the inside lane, but a good jump there for Johnson Jameson. He's going to try to clear for the race lead, and he will lead lap number 1 here in LCQ number 1.
Going out back there for second.
Roberto Crown Jr. holding on to that position for now. They came close to advancing on as well. Zane Davison, I know you're a little disappointed in that run, but he's got an opportunity advancing on through this LCQ. And you got Kirsten Bell, Alex Amatali. I know those 2 cars are very strong, especially Kirsten Bell was up front in her heat. First got taken out. Took herself out with Leonard Koshmer right there. And, of course, they're trying to work their way through the field. But Johnson Jameson pulling away in this 42. Over half-second lead right now for the driver of the number 42.
A fantastic jump from Johnson Jameson. Barely missed out from making it from the 4th heat and was pulling away massively. And it very well could come down to just 9 drivers battling for the 2nd place spot. And right now that is with both Crown Jr., but Crown Jr. slips up. Here comes Davison to the inside. And like you said, that was a little bit of a disappointing one in that first one in the 98 for Zane Davison, but had to shake some cobwebs off maybe, but it looks a lot faster here in this LCQ. Slips up a little bit. Here comes the number 61 out San Vitale. Someone I was high on last year in the Wawa Cup Series. Barely missed the chase. And now San Vitale is on the back bumper of number 98.
And of course, San Vitale is absolutely a driver I can see getting up there and transferring on, and all of a sudden, Zayden Davison is right there, closing in on Johnson Jameson for this race lead. Both of these drivers were full-time uncharted drivers. One had a much better season than the other. Zayden Davison won the uncharted championship, while Johnson Jameson didn't even make a race. But here they are, both in full-time rides, and a clean slate for 2026, and Zayden Davison, who's been trying to get into the series for many years, finally with an opportunity, and a great one at that, and he's going to make this one look easy. Right to the inside of Johnson Jameson for the race lead, and just like that, Zayden Davison out front here in LCQ number 1. Alex Amatali, Laura Chung. You know how good of a driver Laura Chung is. Won at Bristol last year. And Brett Racing, they got Bernardo de Oliveira already in the feature. I know Joe would love to have Laura in this one. Oh boy!
Whoa,
that was
almost.
That was dangerous. Between Philip Torres, Angel Gutierrez, Leonard Koshmer right there, that could have really been bad. Thankfully, it was not. Here comes Sarah Taylor in the 60 back in there. And Kirsten Bell struggling to move her way through the field in that 66 machine. As Zane Davison They get around Johnson Jameson back to fourth, and now it's Sam Vitale and Davidson in the transfer spots, but Laura Chung right there in the 20. She did make the chase last year. And we know she's a great driver, trying to get to the inside of Sam Vitale, and Sam Vitale gets to the inside of Davidson for the race lead.
They're absolutely all over each other up here. Sam Vitale up the track just a bit. We're almost 3 wide for the lead. Here as we head down the back straightaway, Chung still trying to get a nose to the inside. We'll get it here as we head through 3 and 4. And they're going to be side by side here heading into turns 1 and 2. Just be careful there on the inside. And a great job there by the 20 Laura Chung. Rolled that inside just about perfectly there. And Chung goes to the lead. And here comes Davidson there in the 98. Like we were talking about, kind of struggled in his heat race, but he definitely looks like he's dialed in now as he tries to go back for second. He's still got Johnson Jameson up here with a shot. Angel Gutierrez is making their way up here, as well as the 60th Sarah Taylor. Halfway through this LCQ, but we definitely have a lot of strong contenders up here towards the front.
No doubt about it. And all of a sudden, you got everyone under a blanket here for this last transfer spot. Laura Chung are trying to pull away, and no surprise to see that out of the longtime veteran driver to the Wawa Cup Series. Of course, she's got that win with Rut Racing and looking to have another great season with that team. Zay Davidson looks to have a strong car, but Sam Vitale, I feel like these two cars and these two drivers are on very even footing. How about Sarah Taylor? You know, this is a driver who's been around a long time as well, though she's not really had much experience in the rating series. Mahindra Motorsports as a whole looked pretty strong to begin with. Johnson Jameson, who's slipping back now, and Sarah Taylor now up to fourth. Only 2 spots go to the feature. And that's that top 2 spots they need to be. And Laura Chung trying to build a race lead here as we come to 12 laps to go in LCQ1. Alex Vitale holding on to the last spot right now in the 61 for Andrews Racing. The other Andrews Racing car is still struggling. Kirsten Bell, same with Leonard Koshmer. Neither of those drivers really recovering after their wreck in heat number 2. Sarah Taylor going to take the 3rd spot away from Zayden Davidson. And this last transfer spot could be between Sam Vitale and Taylor.
Absolutely. It almost looks like at the start where Johnson Jameson had a big lead, and then it was Zane Davidson that closed in and took that race lead at the time. Now Laura Chung has done the same thing. A big lead over everyone else. Contact there between the Pepsi and JBL machines there. The 63 of Torres and the 98 of Davidson. And now looks like Sarah Taylor is closing in to the number 61 of Sam Vitale. And I think it's going to be a solid year for Davidson, but I don't know if he's going to move on. I think Laura Chung's in a good spot, but it is a 2, 3, 4, 5-way competition possibly between that second spot.
And oh look now, here comes Philip Torres, GRT Power in this LCQ right here. Has found himself up to 5th and looking to get around Zay Davidson quickly for the 4th position. And Sarah Taylor trying to close in, put Sam Vitale in between her and that last transfer spot. Well, the last transfer spot's right ahead of her, so she's not going to actually have anyone in between her and the last transfer spot if she gets it right here. But she's got a nose to the inside for fellow Toyota teammate there of Alex Vitale. Here comes Torres there to the inside of Zane Davidson for 4th. Will Torres close in time? Will he have enough time? That's the big question. We're going to have ourselves 5 laps to go. Next time by for Laura Chung and Rut Racing. Great run for Laura in this one. Crossover for the transfer spot between Sam Vitale and Sarah Taylor.
And Vitale back down to the inside. A bit of a send here to turn 1. Pushes that 60 up the racetrack. You got Torres now clear of the 98 as Aiden Davidson, but Davidson's going to get back down to the inside. It's not what you want to do, as it's constant going back and forth. It's going to let these two pull away, although I'm sure them going back and forth isn't helping. That's definitely not going to either. A big send from the 60th Sarah Taylor trying to get back into the transfer spot. Here comes Kirsten Bell looking 3 wide. They're going into 3 and 4. Is going to get underneath Gutierrez, but now Sarah Taylor holding on here to the final transfer spot with 3 laps to go. And what a performance here by the 20 Laura Chung. Almost pretty much over a 1.5 second lead. Pretty much, as long as nothing crazy happens, she will have a spot in the feature, but this second spot is still very much up for grabs.
No doubt about it. 2 laps to go. Sam Vitale back to the inside of Sarah Taylor. And these guys keep swapping as well. Philip Torres and Zay Davidson, but they're too far behind. It's not going to matter if they're not in second place. And the white flag for Laura Chung here in LCQ number 1. Dominating performance here And Alex Amitali's got enough of a gap now between himself and the 60 of Sarah Taylor to steal that last transfer spot away. It'll be Laura Chung in the number 20. And it'll be Alex Amitali who advances on to the feature event of the 2026 Mello Yello SmoothFest.
What
Definitely have to
job.
give a call to Laura Chung there for her performance there, like I said, and what a battle. Pretty much about all race long there for that second transfer spot. My goodness.
That was something else right there.
What a battle. And I was going to say that battle between Philip Torres and Zane Davidson was important because we've seen it so far here tonight. The chances of them kind of sliding up in 1 and 2 is there, and there was a moment or two that was very tight between Taylor and Sam Vitale, but I thought if those two had then Philip Torres and Davidson would have to race it to see if it won the race back to get that second spot. That didn't happen though. A lot of what ifs, but it chaotic LCQ number 1, and like I said all night long, there's gonna be some good names not making it into the feature, and we got Philip Torres, GOT, Sarah Taylor, strong all night long is not gonna make it. Zane Davidson, Houston Bell, and Koshma. So many strong names just from this one alone. Where I think it's not as strong as LCQ2, but still strong in its own right. A lot of good names are not gonna make it into the 75 lap feature here tonight.
Yeah, such a shame there for especially Kirsten Bell. She just couldn't get up to the front at all. Same with Kochmer, and both those guys had an opportunity of making it in their heat, and they took each other out. Laura Chung, absolute dominating performance, and absolutely something we would expect out of Laura Chung after what we saw last year. And same with Sam Vitale. Almost made the chase. Both of those guys had really good seasons. Of course, the biggest name missing out is Kirsten Bell, who was second in the points last year. She's not going to be in the feature of them. But she always seems to have some success, or at least pseudo-success, in the opening event of the season. So we'll see what she does next week at Homestead Miami Speedway. So Sarah Taylor, Philip Torres, Zayden Davison, Kirsten Bell, Leonard Kochmer, Johnson Jameson, Angel Gutierrez, and Roberto Crown Jr. We'll see y'all next week in the Wawa 400. But Laura Chung, Alex Amitali going to be going for the feature win here tonight. We'll see which lane they get. Got a 107.631. That LCQ number 2 will have to beat in order to get that inside lane to the back of the field. But we know that Laura Chung and Alex Amitali are in the main show. One more LCQ left to go, then we get to the feature here in the 2026 Mello Yello SmoothFest. All right. Here we go. It's one last opportunity to make it into the feature event of the 2026 Mello Yello SmoothFest, and my goodness, do we have an LCQ number 2 for you. We got ourselves in this LCQ all 3 of the past SmoothFest winners. Last year's winner, Brian Webb, 2024 winner, Bruno Diacomo, and the original New Smyrna SmoothFest winner of Blaine Keys. We also have ourselves Nicholas Samadillo in this race, and along with Blaine Keys, 2 other drivers who were in the very first race on the channel in Trey Bartow and Aaron Lukes. Brad Stover is here, Avery Alford is here, Carson Miller is here, and they're all led by a guy making his first career start here tonight in Carson Green. I tell you what, this is going to be a lot of fun. We got 30 more laps. Top to advance on. They need to beat a 107.631 to get spots 21 and 23 on the inside in the feature. Everyone else is going to go home. We'll see you next week at Homestead. Nathan, my goodness. Explain this. This is going to be an LCQ for the ages here from New Smyrna Speedway.
Absolutely. This could be the LCQ in the history of this format at this racetrack of New Smyrna Speedway. Just the names that we have in this one are absolutely insane. You got Carson Green, who almost made it in its debut in the series, and then you got Brian Webb, then you got Trey Bartow, then you got Brad Stover, then you got Avery Alford, Nicholas Samadillo, Blaine Keys, and then you got cars in the back, where I believe that's Aaron Lutz in the wing paint scheme. And then just the 41 bat there of Carson Miller, and just it is stacked. Like, there's no other way to put it. It is stacked, and there's a scenario where you can probably make a case for every single driver in this LCQ to finish first or second. But unfortunately, we can only take 2 to the feature here tonight.
Yeah, we're going to have to race it out for 30 laps, and wouldn't it be something if the first timer, Carson Green, got it done here in LCQ number 2. Caleb, no, we're very excited for this one. How do you think this is going to shake out? Who do you think is going to make it on here with all these big names that we've got here in LCQ 2?
Definitely have a lot to play here in this second LCQ. The very last chance to see who makes it in and who doesn't. And like you both were talking about, this LCQ absolutely stacked with channel greats and drivers that have really showed that they deserve a spot in this race. And just like you were talking about, unfortunately, we can only take 2 more. And I think just about either way you put it, no matter what happens in this race, we are going to see some big names unfortunately miss out on the Mello Yello SmoothFest. It's definitely going to be interesting to see who does end up making it in, but I think this is definitely going to pretty much just be an all-out brawl here in LCQ2 to set the final couple spots here for the future race in just a little bit here in the Mello Yello SmoothFest.
All right, it's going to be a lot of fun, and let's not waste any more of your time. Get these drivers to roll off here in LCQ2 of the 2026 Mello Yello SmoothFest. There's Carson Green, Brian Webb on the front row, Trey Bartow and Brad Stover in row number 2, Avery Alford, Nicholas Samadio in row 3, Aaron Lukes and Blaine Keys, a couple of guys who were in the first ever race there in row number 4, and then of course Bruno Diacomo, Carson Miller, Brian Webb, Bruno Diacomo, Blaine Keys have all won the feature event of the Mello Yello SmoothFest before. And there's a very, very high chance that all 3 of them fail to make it on here in the same LCQ. Carson Green, you've got a task at hand here, my friend. Have some fun leading us off to the green flag in the final LCQ of the night before we get to the feature. Pace cars down the pit lane. Here we go. 30 more laps to determine the last 2 spots. Ooh, a little wide there for Carson Green. But he's going to hold the inside off the exit of turn 2. And Trey Bartow looking to take that spot away. I think Bartow has advanced down from an LCQ in the past, so he's been in this spot before. You know what he's made of in these scenarios. Avery Alford, of course, we know what he's made of in a lot of these scenarios. He had a great season last year in the Wawa Cup Series, and Aaron Lukes is just going for it. Wants to get both of the Nathan Meyer cars into the feature, but Trey Bartow has some other ideas. To the inside for the race lead for Bartow. Blaine Keys on the inside. Anderson Jr. cars slipping back just a little bit. Nicholas Samadio slipping back again in the 17 machine. Carson Miller with a good run to the inside of those guys, but he's a little ways behind. And Bartow to the inside of Carson Green for the race lead. He's finally got it here in LCQ number 2.
Got the race lead, but he slips up the racetrack. Green trying to get to the inside. They bang wheels, but they both keep it straight. And now Green side by side for the lead. Here comes Aaron Lukes in the 67, looking to maybe even try to make it a Heartland Racing 1-2 here in the LCQ. He's followed with a mirror full of the 32. Blaine Keys not wanting to miss out on this SmoothFest, looking to win his second SmoothFest here on the channel. And he's now side by side there with the 4. Trey Bartow looking to take that 3rd position. You got Brian Webb also up here, looking to try and get in for a potential shot at his second SmoothFest. But it is the 2 Heartland Racing cars out front looking to lock them both in to the main event. But Aaron Lukes has got some other ideas other than following his teammate around as he goes to the inside of Carson Green here for the lead. He sends it into turn 1.
Contact between the teammates. They keep it together, but don't look now. Cue the Jaws theme. Here comes Blaine Keys going 3 wide for the race lead here on lap number 7. And this is going to result in contact up in the outside wall. Go both the Heartland cars, and all 3 of those guys are part of the same alliance. The caution is out. Blaine Keys has taken the lead here in LCQ2, and Brian Webb is in the 2nd position. But oh my goodness, we haven't even gotten to the points paying races, and already it's chaos over at Team Warp. But Blaine Keys, you don't mess with
goodness.
Blaine Keys in this series. And you know he is not missing out on his opportunity to get a second SmoothFest win. Very first winner of any event in the Wawa Cup Series. All-time winningest driver on the channel. Winningest driver in the Wawa Cup Series. He just doesn't quite have that championship. He wants to make sure he gets that this year. All right. Now, it doesn't really matter how long this caution is at this point in terms of the fastest lap, because those guys in LCQ number 1, they're going to get 21st and 23rd. So this is going to be for 22nd and 24th on the grid in the feature. So let's see what happened to Carson Green and Aaron Lukes and Blaine Keys to bring out the first caution of LCQ number 2 here in the Mello Yello SmoothFest at New Smyrna Speedway. Oh boy. This right here is the moment of the night. No doubt about it. And if you're Brennan Wilmington, Nathan Meyer, you're kind of cringing at this, because these are 3 allianced cars going 3 wide for the race lead. But if there's any one guy at that alliance that can get away with doing something like this, it's Blaine Keys. He's proven himself in this series and kind of showing the rookie at Carson Green. Aaron Luke's also a listed rookie as well, and Carson Green, nowhere to go, slides up into his teammates, scraping the outside wall. And I actually am surprised they threw the yellow for this. I guess Aaron Lukes was slowed up just enough right there to throw that yellow out. And the Ream machine going to be at the back of the field for this restart. They still got some time, but it's like you said, Nathan, be a fly on the wall with that meeting next week. Oh boy, that'll be interesting. At least it happened in a non-points event, but you can't be doing that throughout the season and expect to win a Wawa Cup Series championship. That is for certain.
Watching here with the 32 of Blaine Keys are going into 3 and 4. Just kind of a tough situation. They get caught in a 3-wide situation up here for the race lead, and unfortunately just all kind of falls apart here going into turn number 1 as Green and Aaron Lukes, the Heartland Racing teammates, go up and into the outside wall. Such a tough break there for both drivers, and Nathan Meyer, fortunately, has not been the first time that the Heartland Enterprises cars have gotten together. See Turkey Hill Truck Series Kansas. Probably won't be the last either, but that's just how racing is sometimes, unfortunately, and really tough break there for both those cars. Have to see if they can recover. It doesn't look like the damage is too bad for both cars, so maybe they'll still be up to par here with the rest of these guys, but definitely going to set them behind the 8 ball here for the remainder of this LCQ.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They'll both still be in the show, and they'll both still be running. They didn't get taken out, thankfully, but that damage might slow them down just a little bit. Let's see how it all goes down. Blaine Keys out front here in LCQ2. Let's see what he does in the restart here at the new Smyrna Speedway. All right, we're back here in LCQ number 2, and wild scenes here in New Smyrna. Welcome back to the Wawa Cup Series, everybody. We absolutely love it. Maybe Aaron Lukes, Carson Green not loving it too much. The good thing is they are still in the race. All 10 drivers still on the lead lap. They're led by Blaine Keys in the 32. Can anyone get to him? Brian Webb, Avery Alford, Trey Bartow, Carson Miller. What a top 5. Only 2 of them are going to make it on to the feature event. Great jump from Blaine Keys. He ain't wasting no time. These guys ain't wasting no time. Avery Alford to the inside for second, and the last transfer spot. And 3 wide again. Carson Miller to the inside of Bartow and Brian Webb. And those are 3 more Alliance guys there at the Hairgel Alliance. So far, none of those guys have made it on into the feature. Bartow trying to do it here. Back to the inside of Avery Alford there for the second position.
Remember when I said that this could be the LCQ ever in the SmoothFest? That might be a topic for conversation, because we've seen so many, at least 2 close call 3-wide moments, and Blaine Keys is out here. The good thing for the Heartland cars is that they don't have that significant amount of damage. They've already passed a couple of cars, so they might have a shot at making it into the feature still sideways.
Especially if they all take each other out right here. Look at this. They're just pushing each other out of the way constantly. Avery Alford, former driver here at Joe Motorsports. I think he wants to best all these guys and get that last spot. And Blaine is like, just don't wreck, guys. I'll take this one away. You fight for the last spot. And that is no surprise at all. No surprise at all that Blaine is just pulling away with this one right now. Avery Alford has the last transfer spot for the time being. Brian Webb, of course, went on that insane run of the feature last year to steal the win in the Mello Yello SmoothFest for 2025, and I know he wants an opportunity getting back there. Aaron Lukes has found himself back in the mix as well, and this 67 is really quick. And he may actually do the same thing Blaine did, because he had a chance to do it. Didn't quite do it. Alford holding on for now. Brian Webb going back to the inside for second. But this 67 is quick. He moved right up to this battle for the final transfer spot, and he might very well get it here. Brian Webb in the 43 in the spot. He's going wide. We got 11 to go, and Aaron Luke's trying to take it away from the 43 now.
Brian Webb tries to shut the door, but he goes it too hot into 1 and 2, and here comes Aaron Lukes to the inside in that 67. He's got Trey Bartow and Sue Carson Miller also looking to try and make his way back up here. What an LCQ this has been. Blaine Keys is pretty much gone with the race lead, but it is still an all-out brawl for the second and final spot. This LCQ's honestly just pretty much been like a classic game of Uno. No friends are being made, and established friendships are being completely decimated.
That's what New Smyrna can do for you. Hey, this ain't for points, so they can go all out for it. Bartow way wide.
Way up the track.
Carson Miller trying to close in on Aaron Lukes for this last transfer spot. And Aaron Lukes is wide. Here comes Brian Webb back again. And out of nowhere, here comes Brad Stover for Anderson Jr. Enterprises. Longtime veteran driver here. You know he's got some wheel power there in that 73 machine, trying to get something to go his way. It ain't over yet. It's probably over for the top spot. Blaine is just lights out at the moment. And this is what he did when he won the SmoothFest back in 2023 as well. And Aaron Lukes trying to get a little bit of redemption from what happened to him. And really the big loser in that whole scenario was Carson Green in the 84. Just wasn't able to rebound from it, and he's fallen to the back of the field. But Aaron Lukes, what a drive for him. Able to get back up to the second spot. Trying to hold on. It's not over yet. He's got last year's SmoothFest winner right behind him here. And it's going to be a tough battle between Brian Webb and Aaron Lukes at this rate, because that 43 is still right there, and he knows how to get it done. Here in New Smyrna, he's going to move to the inside, look to take it away. Last year's winner trying to get that last transfer spot into the feature event here in New Smyrna.
How about this last year's winner, the inside of Aaron Lukes in the 67 machine? And I will say, it's going to be interesting of how this all shakes out. Obviously, the top spot is out here, but you got 3 drivers all right here, one in that second spot. One of them is a veteran of Brian Webb. 2 of them trying to make a name for themselves this season of Carson Miller
right there. Carson Miller looking to take it away from his teammate. Aaron Abel's watching this going like, I don't know, I don't think I should pick favorites here. Just make sure one of you get in, because Aaron Lukes is right back in position. Gonna be the white flag next time by for Blaine Keys, 2.5 second lead. I would say it's safe to say that Blaine's got a shot at winning the feature, considering the speed that he has. White flag for these guys. Aaron Lukes has one more lap to get to Carson Miller, who's taken that last spot away. First time in a full-time ride. He's going to make every race this season, and he's going to make the feature event of the Mello Yello SmoothFest. Blaine Keys wins LCQ2. Carson Miller finds himself in the last transfer spot, and he'll start 24th in the feature event here in just a few moments. That's a shame for Aaron Lukes. He drove himself up there. He had an opportunity, but just couldn't quite finish it off. Brian Webb also up there, couldn't do it. Trey Bartow, Carson Green, Avery Alford, Brad Stover, Nicholas Samadeo, Bruno Diacomo, the 2024 winner of this race. We'll see y'all next week at Homestead Miami Speedway. Blaine Keys is him. We knew that. We knew that coming into this night. We knew that coming into this season. And, just think if it were not for the wreck that occurred in his heat, he probably would have won the pole for the feature. He had to make it through the LCQ, dominated this race. He's going to be starting 22nd, going to be starting 22nd. Caleb, I gotta ask you, do you think he's gonna have the best shot at win? I mean, he's all the way back there in 22nd, but do you think he's gonna have a good shot at winning this race?
I mean, if this LCQ showed anything, it's that 32 definitely has quite a lot of speed. 2.5 seconds over the 41 there of Carson Miller. So I definitely watch out for that 32 come feature time. We know he's fast. We know that he's aggressive. We definitely saw that in play here in this LCQ. Still would definitely love to be a fly on the walls of the Team Warp meeting after this race. But regardless of the fact, Blaine Key is definitely going to be one to watch out for in the feature. Definitely a lot of other drivers to watch out for as well. Of course, Duncan Ward, we know, is going to be fast. Logan Williams has got a really fast car. And just a bunch of other strong drivers going to be in contention for this race win. Like you were talking about earlier, anybody could win this race, and the winner could come from just about anywhere throughout the field. So it's definitely going to be a lot of fun to see who does end up walking away with this race victory. But regardless of who does, it's going to be a fun 75-lap feature ahead of us tonight here from the new Smyrna Speedway. This night has not disappointed yet here so far, and I'm sure it is going to stay that way here.
It's always fun. It's always fun. Excuse me, at the SmoothFest, and we're excited to see how the rest of this night goes. 75 laps left to determine the winner of the 2026 Mello Yello SmoothFest. Here's how they will start for the feature event. Row number 1 will be Logan Williams and Nathan Smith. Row 2 will have Duncan Ward and Braden Perez. Row 3 will have Isaac Nichols and Zachary Fitzwater. Row 4 will have Andrew Miller and Alexander Rowe. Row 5 will have Tanner Parton and Skep Silver. Row 6 will have Bernardo de Oliveira and Daniel Paulus Jr. Row 7 will have Bryce Egan and Mateus Bento. Row 8 will have LJ Semedo and BB Ruiz. Row 9 will have Christian Master and Thomas Troxel. Row 10 will have Rogaldorn and Jack Haas. Row 11 of Lord Chung and Blaine Keys. And row 12 will be Alex Amatali and Carson Miller. One of those 24 drivers will be the winner of the 2026 Mello Yello SmoothFest. So let's not waste our time anymore. Let's get to it. The moment we've all been waiting for. The feature event of the 2026 Mello Yello SmoothFest. So we have gone through all the heats, the 2 LCQs, and now it is time to award the first trophy of the 2026 Wawa Cup Series. And though it might not be for points, there is an insane amount of bragging rights you get for winning this race. You made it to the feature, you beat 23 other guys, and these 24 drivers in this feature event are the best of the best in the Wawa Cup Series. Only one of them is going to get the win here on this half-mile short track in New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Here we go. It's the 2026 Mello Yello SmoothFest feature event here in the 2026 Wawa Cup Series. And hello once again. Here we are. We got 24 drivers who advanced on from the heats and the LCQs. And we're going to rack them up for 75 laps, and it's for all the marbles here. And the first Wawa Cup Series trophy of the season, Logan Williams, Nathan Smith, Duncan Ward, and Braden Perez won their respective heats. Logan Williams was in the fastest heat, and Duncan Ward was in the second fastest heat. They have the prime starting positions in first and third. Of course, there was 3 GR. Of course, it was 3 GRT cars winning heat races, and one of the Dodge Nexus Alliance machines in Duncan Ward, but he won the championship last year. So it truly is some of the best drivers up front, but we've got so many good guys in this race, Nathan, and who knows how this is going to play out. Of course, past couple of years, we've seen drivers who have not necessarily had much success in the Cup Series as a whole go to victory lane in this race. Do you think it might be someone who we really do expect to run well this season, going to victory lane to open up the season here tonight?
I definitely think that would be the case. I think that whoever wins this race, even though based off of years past, it might not be the case. I think this year, with how stacked this field is, I definitely think that whoever wins here tonight will be a championship threat throughout the entire year, especially with who we got up front with Logan Williams, Duncan Wood, just to name a few. And it's definitely going to be interesting on who ends up being this race win and get the first win officially on the season for the Wawa Cup Series in 2026.
And Caleb, I mean, we saw one heck of an LCQ there, and you talked about Blaine Keys and his chances of winning this race. I mean, all the way from 24th all the way to the first. Nathan, you were saying this while we were setting this up. Anyone from 24th to first can win this race. So how crazy is it going to get here in this feature event? Knowing no points on the line, just go for it and get yourself a trophy here tonight at New Smyrna Speedway.
Yeah, I definitely think this could definitely get pretty interesting here in this feature event. Like we were talking about, this race winner could definitely come from just about anywhere. Looking up towards the front, of course, like we mentioned, you got Duncan Ward and Logan Williams, two very strong competitors, but we've got strong competitors strewn pretty much throughout this entire field. Even towards the back, you got guys like Blaine Keys, Carson Miller, Laura Chung as well. We know those drivers are fast and have been fast so far here tonight and could definitely have a great shot at this main event. It's definitely going to be intriguing to see how it all plays out, and anything can happen here from the new Smyrna Speedway. We'll just have to wait and see how it does all end up shaking out and who does cross the finish line first after everything is said and done. But until that does end up happening, we don't know what's going to happen, and that's what's going to make this so exciting and oh so fun here from the new Smyrna Speedway.
No doubt about it. All right, let's go ahead and meet the 24 drivers who are going to be running here in this feature event, and they will be led by the 7-Up machine. You know, we got these competing sodas that are running well in this race. We can't have this, guys. No, I'm just kidding. Logan Williams. So we love seeing Logan Williams run well. He's got the pole position for this feature event. Alongside him there, the 06 of Nathan Smith for Parker Davis Enterprises. Got that heat win, and you know he's going to be a strong driver in this race. Same with our defending Wawa Cup Series champion of Duncan Ward. And we haven't seen him since he won that first heat race earlier on here tonight, but he's got a great opportunity at it here, starting third, alongside Brain Perez, who got the win in heat number 3. And Brain Perez, Mr. Steal Your Win, stole in that one. Will he steal one here tonight with Team Velocitar? You got Isaac Nichols there, teammate to Nathan Smith at Parker Davis Enterprises. He's going to be starting alongside his fellow Aussie, Zachary Fitzwater. Such a great run for him there in his heat. And he's going to be starting in the 6th position here. And what will probably be his final Mello Yello SmoothFest. We're going to miss Fitzy after this season, but great to see him have a good run. A couple more of these Dodge Nexus teammates. You got Alexander Rowe in the 72 and Andrew Miller looking to get some strength back there in NS Racing. Of course, Alexander Rowe driving for Triad Racing. Skep Silver driving for Dracoan Racing Enterprises. Great run for Skep here in his rookie season of the Wawa Cup Series. And you got the 05 of Tanner Parton, teammate to Alexander Rowe there at Triad Racing. Daniel Paulus Jr., 5-time winner last year in the 54 for Team Velocitar, alongside the 0 of Bernardo de Oliveira for Rut Racing. You got Bryce Egan there for Vision Motorsports alongside Mateus Bento in the number 31. First career start on the channel. He advanced on with ease along with his teammate Skep Silver. And I know Owen Miles is happy about this one, looking to get his second win as an owner in this race. BB Ruiz for Dracoan, for Durrani Racing, in the 86 machine alongside LJ Cimento, the 2024 Daytona 500 champion, and teammate to Zachary Fitzwater there at Titan Fury Racing. Christian Master, teammate to BB Ruiz there at Durrani Racing in the 78, long-time runner on the channel, alongside another long-time veteran on the channel, and Thomas Troxel driving for Pacific Racing. Rogeldorn in the 51, driving Ludovic Charette's championship ride from 2 years ago, driving for Ludovic Charette at Intersys Motor Racing, teammate there to Logan Williams, alongside Jack Kaz in the 39, the only Evans Ross Racing car here in this feature event. LCQ number 1 went to Laura Chung. She's going to start 21st alongside the winner from LCQ number 2 in Blaine Keys, the 2023 winner of the Mello Yello SmoothFest. And then just barely making it on, Carson Miller finishing second in LCQ 2, and Alex Sanventali finishing second in LCQ number 1. All right, guys, it's time for the $1 million question, or should I say the $64,000 question, because it's the number 64, starting on the pole position here tonight. Will it be Logan Williams, or will it be someone else? Nathan and Caleb, give me your picks for the 2026 Mello Yello SmoothFest.
this race is going to come down to experience, I think. And who has some of the most experience in the field on the channel. Maybe not in the Wawa Cup Series, but based on experience as a driver on the channel as a whole. Oh, I don't know, he might have won 2 titles last year. I don't know, he might have won 12 races last year. Give me Alexander Rowe to kick off his full-time return to Cup Series racing on HG the channel to win the Mello Yello SmoothFest. That's my pick. Lock it in. Staple Jinx or not, I think Alexander Rowe will win the SmoothFest in his full-time return to the Cup Series on HG the channel.
I think that's definitely a great pick. Some Appalachia alumni there in Alexander Rowe. Of course, got a win for us a couple seasons ago at the Phoenix Raceway, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm honestly going to go for another member of Appalachia alumni. I'm going to go for our pole sitter, Logan Williams. He showed a lot of speed in his respective heat race. So fast, in fact, that he managed to snap the pole for this main event. Got an opportunity of a lifetime in the offseason to drive for Intersis Motor Racing. So excited to see what he can do this season. And I think he's going to kick it off here with a bang, with a win here in the Mello Yello SmoothFest.
We're just going to have to wait and see. There are 23 other drivers that have a different idea. We're going to let these bad boys and girls out loose here in just a moment. So let's go ahead and get these drivers to roll off here in the Mello Yello SmoothFest, the Wawa Cup Series for 2026. And of course, Logan Williams will be leading us off here for 75 laps around the new Smyrna Speedway. Nathan Smith, Duncan Ward, Braden Perez. We're going to be saying these names a lot this year, and here they are up front. But anyone can win this thing, all the way from Carson Miller starting 24th on up. So many great drivers in this race, and so many great drivers that missed out in this feature event as well. We'll see them next week at Homestead when the real season kicks off. But tonight, it's time to have a little fun. This thing's been called the Mello Yello SmoothFest for 11 years. I absolutely love the name. We're never changing it. And I tell you what, it's always a blast when we come here to New Smyrna Speedway. We're going to have another blast again here. As we open up the 2026 season, we're underway in the Mello Yello SmoothFest at New Smyrna Speedway. Oh boy.
A little bit close.
Just a little bit. How about Duncan Ward? How about our defending champion? Going up front, leading lap number 1. Here comes Isaac Nichols to the inside of Logan Williams. Andrew Miller, Tanner Parton on the inside lane. And Isaac Nichols looking to the inside for the race lead on Duncan Ward. GRT's got a lot of guys up front in this race. Of course, they won 3 of the 4 heats. And Isaac Nichols trying to take it away from Duncan Ward as we're complete lap number 2. Here comes Andrew Miller to the inside of Andrew Williams for position. Tanner Parton's back here. Bernardo de Oliveira, Bryce Egan, LJ Cimento on the inside lane. That inside lane is where you want to be. And Isaac Nichols is out front in the number 6 machine here on lap number 3.
Okay, y'all starting deep. And these drivers, they have to realize it's not 15, it's not 30, it's 75 laps. That is basically 2 heat races, 2 LCQs plus a heat race. So, a lot of time on our hands for these drivers. You got Tanner Parton found if it's O-Ride over in the number 97. And it's going to be interesting how this race all goes down. Of course, we got a lot of drink sponsors here. We got 7-Up, we got Powerade, and a couple of others. I think there's a Pepsi color somewhere. So, it's going to be interesting of how it all plays out if one of those products win or not. And Mountain Dew as well. I completely blind and saw that. But right now, it is number 6 of Isaac Nichols out front in a target car here on lap number 7.
And of course, Isaac Nichols, a very strong driver, 2-time winner last year with Parker Davis Enterprises. And he was up there. He had some opportunities at the championship, but Duncan Ward had other ideas there in the 23. And Duncan Ward has really come out of the gate strong here tonight. There's a fresh new scheme there at Team Williams in the Mountain Dew machine, and back to the inside for the race lead goes Duncan Ward on Isaac Nichols. Already these guys starting to pull away here from the rest of the field. Got the top 3 have kind of pulled away, and then you got 4th place Tanner Parton, 5th place Bernardo de Oliveira there, Bryce Egan Andrew Miller, Braden Perez, Nathan Smith has fallen to 9th, and Laura Chung, who won the LCQ, by the way, up now in the top 10. She gets around LJ Cimento, Rogel there, Carson Miller, Skep Silver trying to move his way through the field, same with Blaine Keys as well. Not a good run there for Zachary Fitzwater. He's fallen to the back of the field. Mateus Bento also in the back of the field as rookie driver. Not a good run for Daniel Paulus Jr. right now, or Alex in a row. Thomas Droxel deep in the field too, but still early on here in this Mello Yello SmoothFest. Another change for the race lead, and Isaac Nichols back to the inside of Duncan Ward for the top position. Here comes Logan Williams trying to take second away. We'll see if he has an opportunity getting up to our race leader. Bernardo de Oliveira up to the 4th position. Here comes Tanner Parton back to the inside for that spot.
Being a lot of battles out here on this racetrack early on in the going as Logan Williams back up to second now. Parton looking to try and clear that 0. Bernardo de Oliveira with Bryce Egan and Andrew Miller there waiting in the wings. Egan tried to get to the inside of the 0 that time, but couldn't quite get there. Braden Perez slipped back a little bit on the start, but he's gotten down to the inside now that everybody has spread out and looking to try and make some of those spots back up. And you mentioned the 20 Laura Chung started all the way in the back already here inside the top 10 in 9th, fighting there with the 06 and Nathan Smith. You mentioned a lot longer in this race, but still, if it does go green like this, these laps are still going to tick away relatively quickly. Already here as we move on to lap number 15, as we got a battle for the race lead once again. There seems to be trading it like a game of hot potato, as now Logan Williams fires off into the lead in that 64, but he's got a rear bumper full of the 23 of Duncan Ward, who's trying to take a peek here to the inside, seeing if he can maybe get a nose here.
And Duncan Ward has just been up front all night long. I don't think he's fallen any further than 3rd in any race so far tonight. Of course, he made it on to relative ease in his heat. But Logan Williams pulls hitter back to the front here at New Smyrna Speedway. And these are the 3 guys. They'll start on the inside lane. Those outside lane starters didn't quite get the best of runs there. Braden Perez, Nathan Smith falling outside the top 5 right there. Got Rogel here in the 51. This is a driver we're very excited to see this season there with Intersys Motor Racing. Of course, GRT affiliated team. Ladovic Schret now the owner of this organization. And of course the 2024 champion. You know that that's a good combination with Rogel who won a lot in 2024. Logan Williams starting to pull away just a little bit. We are seeing a bit of a spread out here. Isaac Nichols taking second back away from Duncan Ward. Great runs for Tanner Parton and Bernardo de Oliveira. Andrew Miller still in the top 10. Braden Perez to the inside of Bryce Ian, who's got a top 10 run going for him. Laura Chung holding on to that 10th spot for now. That's what we tend to see sometimes here in this feature event of the SmoothFest. These guys are a little bit quieter, a little bit calmer. They know they got a lot of cars on the racetrack, and they tend to save their stuff up. But I tell you, we're still going to have ourselves a great race. We're far from over here in this feature event. Logan Williams trying to pull away and get this SmoothFest win here tonight for Intersys Motor Racing and Ladovic Schret.
They keep on swapping for the 2nd place spot, Duncan Ward and Isaac Nichols, and you just mentioned it. We're far from over. We're only 21 laps in. We still have 49 laps to go in this feature. Well, actually more than that. So we still got plenty of time left for these drivers that started on the outside lane to work their way up to the front. I'm impressed with these racing cars. Obviously, we saw the speed from Laura Chung dominated her LCQ, but quickly got up inside of the top 10 now, has fallen out. But that zero machine at Bernardo de Oliveira looks pretty strong, and you gotta think about it. It's 75 laps. There might be a little bit of tire fall off. You might want to save the tires a little bit, and you might want to have a long one cut in. Something that we've not had all night long here for this feature.
And of course, too, remember what Brian Webb did a year ago, kind of just clawed through the field and did not look back. He was in a Racing Motorsports machine at the time, and look at Carson Miller right now. He started dead last for this race, and he's now up to the 9th position, right on the back bumper of Nathan Smith for 8th. He's not too far off a race leader Logan Williams, who, by the way, now has a 2nd lead on the field, and these guys can't let Logan get too far ahead if they want to still have an opportunity up this race victory. But I'm telling you what, Caleb, this is looking good for your former driver, Logan Williams. He's got a win at Richmond Raceway last year, driving for you guys, so you know he's good on the short track. But I'm sure you're impressed with what you're seeing out of Logan Williams so far here in this feature event. But just as I say that, Isaac Nichols and Duncan Ward closing in right here. They're closing in fast as well. And you know, all these drivers are super duper good here in this Wawa Cup Series.
Yeah, starting to reel them back in here as this race goes along, but starting to maybe looking at maybe strapping for second once again, which is probably how they lost so much time to begin with. After Isaac Nichols looking to maybe try and pull away here from the 23 of Duncan Ward. Still a lot of scrapping going on here throughout this field. Not the best run, unfortunately, for guys like Alexander Rowe in the 72, which might have gotten stuck there on the outside. He did start there on the outside lane. Also, Daniel Polish Jr., probably not the run that he wanted so far in this race. There is still time here from the new Smyrna Speedway, and still anything can happen, but I can definitely tell you right now it's looking good, especially here for this top three. Logan Williams especially trying to hold on to this lead. However, Isaac Nichols looking to try and reel him in here now that he's got some clean air.
And of course, these guys, these top three have been the top three in this feature event all night long. Starting to pull away just a little bit from fourth place. Bernardo de Oliveira, Andrew Miller have been battling for that position quite a bit. Tanner Parton slipped back. Carson Miller now up to the 7th position. Got around Nathan Smith, got around Bryce Egan. And is this our Brian Webb moment for the year here for Carson Miller, trying to move his way through the field and get that speed up front? Of course, if Isaac Nichols gets up to and alongside the 64 of Logan Williams, it'll be an opportunity this guy slow up, but time is in the favor of Logan Williams because we're almost halfway through this feature event right here. Now we're just going to have to see if he can find himself up front at the end of this race. He can hold on to this top position. We got about 42 laps to go here in the feature event of the Mello Yello SmoothFest. Andrew Miller still battling with de Oliveira for this position here for the 4th spot. Tanner Parton, and here comes Carson Miller. Yet another spot for Carson Miller right here. What is Aaron Abel cooking up at Racing Motorsports with these cars in New Smyrna? I tell you what, they find speed as this run goes along. And I gotta be honest with you, Carson Miller might have a good opportunity of this race win here once we get down to the finish of this race.
Oh my goodness, you know, we might be on to something. I did say at in the intermission between the LCQs and the feature that, hey, Logan Williams from the Pokemon or 24th, second in LCQ number 2 can win. Carson Miller started the night upside down in his heat. He made it in from LCQ now from 24th up to 6th place. However, this is going to be tough because Bernardo de Oliveira has been inside the top 5 all race long. Miller is better and better on the long run. And then, of course, you got the top 3 that have been up there all race long. And really, the top 2 local wins and Isaac Nichols are pulling away from Duncan Ward. So, I do think past halfway now, I think maybe a top 5 is not out of the cards for Carson Miller in the number 41. But if he wants to go from from 24th to 1st, he needs to caution most likely.
You know, another driver that's also moving their way through the field very well is BB Ruiz in the 86. How about this run for Durrani Racing? Of course, we know how strong this team is after they won the Turkey Hill Truck Series Championship with Matthew Hubert. We really don't know much about BB Ruiz as a driver. Well, he's definitely finding himself in a pretty good position right here, top 10 in the Mello Yello SmoothFest. Or Chung Blaine Keys, those guys have kind of stalled out a little bit. While Carson Miller still kind of moved his way through the field. Bit of a tough run there for those guys. At least they made the feature event, though. Not that it matters if you don't win or not. Braden Perez has really slipped back in the 11 machine after winning his heat. All the way down in 21st right now in that 11 machine. And then these 3 guys has been off the pace. Alexander Rowe, Zachary Fitzwater, Christian Master. And, you know, it's possible we could have a lap car situation once we get down to it. Maybe not. I don't think if this thing stays green and we don't have any issues, I don't think that'll be the case. This race is far from over. Isaac Nichols and Logan Williams. They got 2 seconds on the rest of the field. Here comes Bernardo de Oliveira to the inside of the Wawa Cup Series champion. That is for the 3rd position. Duncan Ward slipping back, fading just a little bit there in the 23 machine. Carson Miller, Andrew Miller. Andrew Miller's the original Miller, so he's just Miller on the name bars. Carson Miller's got a C, but Carson Miller looking to become the better Miller right here. 30 laps to go in the Mello Yello SmoothFest feature, trying to get to the inside of Andrew Miller for the top 5 position. And Isaac Nichols is still all over the back bumper of Logan Williams here for this race lead with 30 to go here in the Mello Yello SmoothFest.
Isaac Nichols has worked his way all the way back there from up here, all over the back bumper of the 64 Logan Williams. He's doing a good job here so far at hanging on to this race lead as Nichols right there slips a little bit wide, maybe trying to force the 6 into a couple of mistakes like right there. And just like right there too, as Nichols slips wide through 1 and 2, and Logan's going to open up his gap quite a bit here this time around. He's just been so consistent so far here throughout the night, and that's really playing into his favor. And back here, got a lot of scrapping going on still. You got Bernardo de Oliveira now up into the 3rd position. Red runner there for that Road Racing Chevrolet. Duncan Ward maybe falling off just a little bit. They've lost quite a bit of time to our top 2. However, still looking to try and take that 3rd position back away as he's all over the back bumper of the 0. And like you mentioned, you got the Millers going at it back there as well for the 5th position. And this has been such a fun night, and this has been such a great way to cap off the night as well, as Isaac Nichols continues to try and hound that 64 of Logan Williams. He slipped up a little bit there through 3 and 4, and Nichols is able to gain quite a bit there.
This race is far from over. Still got about 25 laps left. Of course, these guys still battling for position. Carson Miller still trying to get around Andrew Miller for position right there. Not only do they have the same last name, their cars are like the same color as well. That won't get confusing. And here comes Andrew Miller's old ride at Durrani Racing. BB Ruiz moving up. BB Ruiz up now into the 7th position, looking to take 6th away from Andrew Miller right there. Great runs for Nathan Smith and Bryce Egan. Of course, I know Bryce is excited for his new opportunity at Vision Motorsports. Matthew Hubert, the owner of this team, and Tanner Parton, Rogel Dorn, great runs for them. Thomas Troxel, Laura Chung battling right there. None of these guys have slid into each other, which is great. They raced a very clean race, and Logan Williams is starting to pull back away here. Ahead of Isaac Nichols. Of course, tire wear is something that comes into effect in the feature event, something we don't see in the heats or LCQs near to this level, but 53 laps on a set of tires right here. They just keep on going, and it gets harder and harder to maintain those tires underneath of you. Here comes Carson Miller to the inside of Duncan Ward. That is for the 4th position. These guys all jamming up as Bernardo de Oliveira tries to pull away from these guys here, but the top 2 still pulling away from everybody else here with 21 laps to go in the Mello Yello SmoothFest for Logan Williams.
Almost a 4-second lead now for Logan Williams and Isaac Nichols. Still a great run from all these guys really behind him. Gazebo 41, 97, 23, 86. So many great stories all night long, and even throughout the entire grid, really. It's kind of surprising of some drivers not really on the move, and some are. Glenn Keys, I think, is kind of halfway through the field. Last time we saw him, yeah, just outside of the top 10, but not nearly as fast of him moving through the field like Carson Miller. I don't know if we're going to get that caution that some of these guys are winning, because the top 2 have a 5-second lead now. Yeah, pretty much a 5-second lead from 4th on that. So crazy stuff. A really fun feature, and I think, like you said, Alex, we gotta see which one of these 2 have maybe saved the tires a little bit the best for the last 16, 17 laps.
Isaac Nichols is coming fast in this 6th machine. He's wired it in now, and this race is far from over. And we might have ourselves a great battle for this feature win here in the Mello Yello SmoothFest. Logan Williams, this is the closest it's been all race long, essentially, since Williams took the race lead. And Isaac Nichols trying to do all he can to have a shot at the Mello Yello SmoothFest win. The Logan's still holding on for now, but Logan is right, or should I say Isaac is right there on the back bumper of the 64 machine. You can tell these guys are losing speed in the middle of the corner compared to how they were at the start of this race. And Christian Master there going in the turn 1 as these guys exit turn 4. I do not believe he will become a factor. But if this stays green, it's going to be one of these 2 guys going to victory lane here tonight in New Smyrna Speedway. Bernardo de Oliveira, Carson Miller, BB Ruiz. That's the top 5. Duncan Ward has slipped back to 8th. Rogel Dorn up inside the top 10. Here comes Troxel and Paulus and Blaine Keys trying to crack the top 10 here. We'll see if they can do so. There goes Miller Back to the inside of Ruiz for position. We're going to focus back up here on Logan Williams, trying to hold off Isaac Nichols for the Mello Yello SmoothFest win.
Still close is these top two, but it almost kind of seems like every time Nichols gets to the back bumper of that 64 Logan Williams, he starts to pull away once more, and it's starting to happen right here once again, as he's now built up a little bit of a cushion once again back to the 6 of Isaac Nichols, but still got a little bit left to go in this race, and anything can still happen. And we know that 6 car is fast. He's been fast all race long, and we know he's gotten up to that 64 multiple times, so he definitely has the speed to compete with that 64. But the question is, can he get to him, and can he get by him, as we got 10 laps to go here in the Mello Yello SmoothFest.
Dirty air. That's all I can say.
True.
Well, welcome back. It's NASCAR season, folks. Chase doesn't solve everything. Though I will say I am very much looking forward to the start of this NASCAR season with the introduction or reintroduction of the chase, I should say, and the clash on Sunday night. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Actually, we got some heat races tomorrow night with that. NASCAR's back, and I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to another great season. And looking forward to another great season of the Wawa Cup Series as well. And what a great way to start it off. And I like to see the feature event be clean. You know, in 2024, we had like 4 cautions in this feature. It's an absolute mess. Tonight, it's been the best showing out. And that's what we want to see in these Wawa Cup Series races with the ratings in play. And it's Logan Williams and Isaac Nichols who have been dominant. Logan Williams has led the most laps in this feature event. But Isaac is still there. These guys got 5 seconds on the field right now. Will Isaac get anything? It's 6 laps to go here in the feature event of the Mello Yello SmoothFest for Logan Williams. He's going really wide right there, and here we go. Isaac Nichols closing in on Logan Williams for the top position. And Williams wide again. Nichols has a shot. He's right there. Will he peek to the inside? He will. And with 5 laps to go, Isaac Nichols looks to take the lead away from Logan Williams here in the Mello Yello SmoothFest.
He's gonna be side by side still. Logan's trying to fight back on that side. No,
he's gonna have to cross back over.
And hang on. He has to. He has to let him by and try and do a crossover. I was about to say, Caleb, you got 2 pits right already. Logan was still pit for the feature. If you went for 3 for 3, I was gonna tell you and get a lottery ticket. But I think the thought of that, just the thought of me saying that,
he's got a nose again.
Now,
as we're coming to 2 laps to go here at the new Smyrna Speedway, and they're side by side for the race lead here in the feature event. What a show these guys are putting on here tonight in Central Florida. Logan's gonna clear back to the race lead. Next time by is the white flag in the Mello Yello SmoothFest. Isaac Nichols is going to have one more chance at this. Will he be able to find his nose to the inside of this 64? Logan Williams trying to hug the inside in 1 and 2. Nichols going a little bit wide. That might have sealed it. Logan Williams for Intersys Motor Racing. A new team, a new chapter, and a new trophy for Logan Williams as he wins the Mello Yello SmoothFest.
Well, man, how about that?
Caleb, you need to get a lottery ticket. I was not able to switch that around. You went 3 for 3 on the pit field tonight, and you need a lottery ticket, and Logan Williams might need a big trophy case. I think that is not going to be the last win he gets in 2026.
That was some fun stuff at the end. That's what we want to see in the Wawa Cup Series. Good, hard, clean racing. And hey, the GRT guys, they've been doing this a long time. Logan, I think he's been adjusted well into the GRT regime, I think, after this. And that is such a great way to introduce yourself to the Empire, I guess you can say. I don't know. I shouldn't play into it too much. That's all you guys with the whole alliance thing. I have nothing to do with that. You all did that yourself. Logan Williams did this himself, got that win, and what a dominating night for Logan Williams. And he made it interesting. He made that interesting at the end there, but he wasn't going to let Isaac Nichols steal what might just be the biggest win in Logan Williams' career. Not to knock anything that he's done with you, Caleb, but that is huge for him to go right to GRT and win right off the bat. No, it's not a points-paying race, but that is a huge deal for Logan Williams to get this Mello Yello SmoothFest here tonight in New Smyrna Speedway.
Absolutely. That was such a fantastic performance there, the 64 of Logan Williams. Like you said, definitely made it a bit interesting there towards the end, and he definitely had to fight for it there with Isaac Nichols, but still, at the end of the day, came out on top there. And yeah, so great to see there for Logan Williams. Like you were talking about, a huge win there for him, and definitely don't take any offense to that. Going and winning for a brand new team in your first try is definitely really great stuff there, and it's going to be I think, like Nathan said, I think Logan has a great season ahead of him. Of course, with the SmoothFest and everything, really helps you kind of get his foundation set for the rest of your season. I think that's just about as good of a foundation as you could probably build and project yourself into the regular season. So definitely going to be exciting to see what Logan can do there for Intersus Motor Racing this season. Like I was talking about pre-race, he did just what I said he was going to do. Started the season off with a bang here with a win in the SmoothFest. Still definitely have to give a call to Isaac Nichols. He was up there with him pretty much just about all race long and gave him a run for his money there in the closing lap. She also had some great runs there from Carson Miller and Bernardo de Oliveira. Maybe if they started a little bit more up the field, they could have maybe had a shot, but still some great runs there by those guys. Andrew Miller there with the top 5. Good stuff there for his reintroduction there to the NS Racing team. Bieber Ruiz, a great run there for Durrani Racing. Truxell and Paulus were able to make a solid recovery there inside the top 10. Just some fantastic runs here tonight all the way around. And, man, after a night like tonight, I cannot wait to see what the rest of the season will have to offer.
And Nathan, I know you're excited for the rest of the season as well with your team. And hey, you know, this was such a great way to start the season off from start to finish. Probably one of the best SmoothFests that we've had because we weren't going nuts with the wrecks, which was nice. And then we finished off with a great battle between Logan Williams and Isaac Nichols. And I tell you what, if that's any indication how the season's going to be, like I said, we want to see these guys race it out. And ever since we introduced the ratings, the cautions have gone down in this series, in the Cup Series, the high level, compared to how it used to be back in the day. But I know you're excited for it, and after what you saw here tonight, what are you most looking forward to here in this 2026 Wawa Cup Series season, which officially begins points-paying racing next Friday night in the Wawa 400 at Homestead?
Absolutely. I'm fairly excited to see how the season goes. And it's one thing to be good at the SmoothFest, but it's a whole different story to be good throughout the entire regular season and make it into the 12-driver chase. And then that is where the real tense part of the season really happens, because you need to be on the A game at that point of the season. Literally, from about 5 races before the chase to the 10 races of the chase, and it's going to be really interesting on who ends up making it in a fairly competitive 40-car, 40-driver, 40 vehicle season. And I'm kind of looking forward to some of these potential storylines that we might see throughout the season, like Logan Williams and a new team already off to a great start. Carson Miller, he showed that he could be a good rising star of racing motorsports. The return of Randy Miller to the 97, what can Zane Davidson do? What can some of the drivers that didn't make it into the feature can do? What can Local do in a good agreement? What can Bryce Egan? Like, I can go on and on. There's so many potential stars and potential drivers this season in particular. I think this could be one of the most competitive seasons yet in the Wawa Cup Series. And we gotta wait and see what ends up happening. The Staple Drinks might not have been good tonight. It was kind of bad, I'm gonna be honest. But it's a long season. We'll see what ends up happening. Logan gets to win lots of storylines, and as I bet we're excited, this is only the first weekend of the year with everything on the channel at the same time. It's going to be a lot of fun in 2026.
We don't quite have everything yet. First, we did the Sprint Series on Wednesday night. You know what's next Thursday, Caleb? And I know you are so looking forward to this, just as I am as well.
Yeah.
Wawa National Series, which is in a way the second division of the Wawa Cup Series. And hey, Ladovic Shret's not driving here, but she's driving over there. You also got Alexis Selsman in there. Nathan, you're in that as well. Travis is driving. And then you got some new guys in as well. Oh boy, it's going to be a lot of fun on Thursday night with the Brightline 300 at Homestead to open up the National Series season. Give us just a little taste of what you're going to cook up here in 2026.
Oh, it's going to be an absolute blast. I've been looking forward to this ever since it was pretty much been announced last season. And like you were talking about, we definitely have a lot of interesting names in the series. Got established channel veterans like Ladovic Shret, Nathan Stapleton, Alexis Selspin, Travis Crampton's in there. Darian, and a bunch of new names as well, like Darian Ornsdorf, which ran for the Uncharted Wawa Cup Series last season and did really well. You got Tyler Jericho in the series as well, along with Andrew Williams. So we'll see how that ends up shaking out. But hey, regardless of the fact, I'm definitely really excited to see how this season will play out. And it's going to be a really fun one to kick off the season at the Homestead Miami Speedway next Thursday for the Brightline 300.
No doubt about it. So, I mean, we're just getting started. We kind of slowly ramped this up. Got the Wawa 400 next Friday night. And then the weekend after that, that's Daytona 500 week. We're bringing qualifying back just for the Daytona 500. Rest of the races just going to be in-game, so the qualifying rating is actually going to matter this year. I greatly apologize to everyone for that from last year. That was a mistake, and we're making it a lot simpler now, so there is actually meaning to what you're putting in those forms. And the big thing is the rating system's a little different this year as well. The whole range in the ratings is different. You got some that are 5-point range, 10-point range, 15-point range. And then on top of that, the drivers are going to be adding owners' points and vice versa in these forms as well. So a lot more strategy that the drivers have to think about, as well as the owners adding drivers' points to their drivers, which also get added to the hot seat cars, by the way. And just letting you all know that now. So you're one of those, Nathan, that has a hot seat. So going to be a lot of fun once you get all that started. We're going to have Daytona 500 qualify. We're going to have the Mello Yello duel. We're going to have the big race. And we're also going to have the Body Armor Pro Series, Sprint Series, National Series, all on that same week. JBL Cup Series, Krispy Kreme National Series, just a bunch of stuff. Just a bunch of stuff, and it's a lot of fun because we've been doing this, for 11 years, and we still just can't get enough of it, you know? I'm going to be 27 in June, and I'm still yelling in front of the computer after 11 years, and I love every minute of it. Love you guys as well for making this what it is. And I got to be real with y'all. There came a point during the fall where I almost thought this wasn't going to happen, but you guys made this happen. I cannot thank especially Hergé Alonso enough for all the work that he did, putting all the schemes, the pit boxes, the graphics that you see. He put in so much work to make this look what it is. And, you know, I make sure I compensate him for that as well, because he absolutely earned it. But everybody else, all the other team owners, all the drivers, everyone did their ratings for this series. And I think Caleb and Nathan and Matt Tuck especially, they're kind of like the committee in a way behind all of this. And this is not an easy operation at all. And on top of that, you know, I work a full-time job and do kind of similar things as a manager of people. And it's great. I am so thankful to have that, and it has made this so much sweeter because this has been a part of my life consistently for well over a decade. And I really, really hold to my heart the guys who have been here since the beginning as well. Guys like Blaine Keys and Zachary Fitzwater and Thomas Troxel and Nicholas Amadio and Trey Bartow, Jesse Turner and those guys, Christian Master. I'm sorry if I'm missing you guys. I'm just going. Aaron Lukes was there at the beginning. There's so many of those guys who were there from the beginning, and they're still here well over 10 years later. That's absolutely insane. And a lot of you guys have come in along the way during those 10, 11 years and are still here, still rocking it, and it's amazing what we have built as a community. And you all truly do mean the world to me, and this is all for you guys at this point. I'm really just, it's all just icing on the cake from here in terms of this project, and you all help make that what it is, so thank you. You all have a great Friday night. We'll see you next Friday night for the Wawa 400 in the Wawa Cup Series. You know, that's what we are. We're the Wawa Cup Series, so Appreciate you all watching here tonight. A huge thank you to Caleb Rose and Nathan Stapleton for joining me alongside here tonight for this Mello Yello SmoothFest. You're going to hear a lot of different voices in the Wawa Cup, so you're going to try to even it out a little bit more. We got a lot of guys, got a couple of groups of commentators, going to just be switching it all around. You're going to be hearing many different voices, but you will be hearing my voice for the Wawa Cup Series, assuming I don't lose it from all the talking and the allergies and whatnot. You know, we got through the night, and if we can get through the longest one, I think we'll be good. Thank you all so much for watching. Congratulations to Logan Williams for winning the 2026 Mello Yello SmoothFest. We don't have points yet, so here's a little title card congratulating him, and we'll see you guys next week from the Homestead Miami Speedway. I will see you guys later.